What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to the Hump Day edition of Outlaw Radio. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the host of Outlaw Radio, militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer, also known in some circles as the world-class smartass. What it do, 414? It's time to get it in. Outlaw Radio, real talk on a Wednesday evening. Hope everything's going smooth for y'all. Looking forward to the next couple of hours as we get off into some foundational Black American discussions. I do have one of my co-hosts here with me. Seems like he's on the road, but he's here nonetheless. What it do, Ian? How you doing this evening?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed. Every day above ground is a good day. You know how that goes. Just dealing with stuff, dealing with people like the rest of y'all deal with people on a daily basis that uh are probably unintelligent. There you
Mm,
go.
okay, okay. There's a lot going on this week. There's a lot going on today. You're gonna see if you pay attention to the media, you're gonna see some of these stories appear. Some of them you won't. So that's why it's important to have a platform like Outlaw Radio in which we try to entertain, but we try to enlighten and inform as well. Phone number is 262-202-5131, 262-202-5131. And we also have a chat room that pops pretty regularly. So if you are one of those people who tune in every week via the chat room, welcome aboard. Um, so I wanted to say I wanted to say Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. is when the show's on. We do have a YouTube page, the People's Network with a Z. We do have a TikTok page, and I have to go and upload some new clips through the TikTok page. I do have Instagram, but I don't really use Instagram or X. I don't usually entertain those platforms. I used to, but I don't now. I don't really. So Facebook is the primary way you can see the show. Now you can see it on my 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 government page, which is Kevin Barnes, but there's also an Outlaw Radio page. So it's a multitude of ways you can see the show, and I just ask that you share it when you see it, especially if you hear something on here that you think is interesting. And we also have a sister Facebook group called the People's News Network, which is basically foundational Black American conversation and a foundational Black American news. I saw a brother here with a post for his show today. I believe he's on the Truth, and I can't remember his name. And he was saying, "Well, what is black stuff?" He was talking about what is black and what dictates black and what indicates a person's level of blackness and this kind of thing, which is something we've discussed on this show many times. You hear me say all the time. People ask me about, "You have a podcast?" I say, "Yeah, I do have a podcast." And they ask me like, "What is your podcast about?" And I tell them it's about black people shit. And they say, "What do you talk about?" I say, anything that's relevant or pertinent to foundational Black Americans. So it may be something that the mainstream media ignores, or it may be something that they talk about and don't have the right lens on it. So, and then in terms of your level of blackness on the spectrum, that just varies. It just depends. It depends on where you are. The one thing you cannot say is that there is no such thing as blackness. You can't say that there aren't some things that are counterproductive to your blackness, because there are. If you're the type of person who doesn't believe that your blackness can be questioned and that you can do any and everything that you want, then you are sadly mistaken, because just like anything else, it's levels to this. It's what they always say, right? It's levels to it. So, if you know better, you'll do better. That's kind of how we approach the situation. Like I said, feel free to call in, make your comments, just respect the platform, and I won't have to hang up on your ass. Other than that, it's all good, man. Um, I wanted to tell all the brothers, y'all be
Hell
careful,
no.
man. Keep your head on the swivel, because Megan Thee Stallion's followers, I guess all of the ladies are saying they're going to organize a mass cheat first day. So they
That's
want to.
awesome.
They're saying go out and cheat on your man right quick. I guess that's good news for side dudes if they've been waiting in the wings for a long time. A lot of work husbands,
He said side dudes.
right? A lot of work husbands been waiting on this day, right? He tired of bringing coffee and sandwiches.
Oh shit. Yo, that's crazy, Kev. That's fucking hilarious.
It is, man. It's crazy that people
Side nigga.
have taken so much stock into this whole thing. It's just ridiculous, man. People have an emotional investment and they don't even know. You don't even know what's going on. You don't know what's happening in somebody else's life. You don't know who did what first. You just at this point it's just lip service. So, if you're stupid enough to follow this trend and go, I'm a girl, I'm a cheat first, go ahead and
Love it.
do what you do, man.
That's
Do what you do. What's on
worthless
your mind,
ass.
man? I know you, like I said, you're going through your week. What's going on, man? Based on what you've been seeing in the news, what's on your mind?
Far as that, oh, you shouldn't have never said that. You about to set me off, bro. I was talking to my cousin about this shit. She a female. She putting this shit heart emojis, and Megan shouldn't have to go with that. When I first seen it, we got a cousin named Megan. So I'm like, man, what the fuck is wrong with her? Why is she going through what? And I see a picture of this fucking dumbass Megan Thee Stallion and fucking Clay Thompson yellow ass. I'm like, oh man. So I chimed in about why this shit is ridiculous. And I ain't gonna say my cousin name. I was like, man, look, cuzzo, like you way too invested in these motherfuckers you ain't never gonna meet and never gonna know and never even work with because she sing. So I'm just like, look, man, I said, you don't know what Megan did. You have no idea what Clay did. I said, this acting like she's a victim. It happened when she got her fuck. Same thing before. I'm like, y'all gotta, we gotta do better. I'm like, why are you guys so invested in this woman? She's not, to me, she adds nothing of substance at all in regard to her music. I've listened to her in interviews. I don't really see anything. So I would prefer like to share stuff with John Hope Bryant or when a young lady becomes a valedictorian instead of giving a fuck about Clay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion. I was like, man, this is wild work. Cause she was like, well, cuz no woman should have to get treated like that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I don't think that's what she's doing.
I don't know. Ian, I don't know what's up with your connection. It's stalling you out, so I figured it would drop. Ian, if you couldn't tell, he's in his car trying to get down with us from his car. It's not connecting.
Yeah, we might be having some technical issues.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna
you're
go out and go back in. I'm almost at the house. I'm gonna go ahead and get on my computer.
there we go. So, one of the things is, and I want to say what's up to Ace Cooley in the chat room early. What did do, Ace? He said, "What up, Outlaws? They don't realize them is the funky heifers men be talking about." My thing is, Megan is not even. Is she a mid tier rapper? Like she's not the biggest female rapper. She's not the highest selling. She hasn't charted in a while. She's actually on the back end of her rap career because in terms of how long rap careers last, each individual has a run. It's usually about 5, maybe 6 years. She's on the back end of it. And I think that's why it's been so important that she does other things, movies and this kind of thing. And she was doing Broadway, Moulin Rouge, and stuff like this. But I don't understand why people, well, she don't deserve it. Da, 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 da. Okay, well, nobody deserves to be mistreated, regardless of what your career path is. But you know, who's the mistreater in this situation? We don't actually know. Unless you know exactly what the ins and outs of her and his brother's relationship were, you don't really know what you're talking about. You're just speculating. So it's just amazing to me that people are so driven and so invested in being in somebody's business because they're a celebrity. It's funny that people think they know celebrities just because you listen to a record or you watch a movie or you watch a couple interviews and you become so vested in this celebrity's life without even knowing who this individual is really or how they behave in real life when the cameras are off. Um, and according to her own admission, she's been, pretty loose within the industry. She's been around the block. I'm not criticizing her for however she chose to behave. She's been around. She's not a damsel in distress. She's not a purist, driven snow young lady. She's by her own admission, she's been a little bit looser than she probably should. And so, there's alcohol involved. She's an admitted, there's really a documented issue she's had with alcohol. So, I mean, you can't really say what happened within their personal interaction. So, and everything is social media, man. Social media is crazy. I'm almost ready for social media to come to an end. I just really hate the way it creates false narratives. And I know people say, "Well, Kev, your show is on social media." I understand. I understand. You know, if my show has to my show as it exists now has to go away because social media went away, I just figure out another way to broadcast it. There's always a way to get something done if you put some initiative behind it. Ace, I'm gonna have to agree with you on this when he said they women were looking for a reason to cheat anyway. Yeah, if your fidelity in your relationship is based on Megan Thee Stallion, then you had your relationship had a problem anyways. There's some issues there anyways. And you have issues as well. Let me give you one of these. Come on, stop it. Stop it. I hope this is just more internet talk, and I hope no adult really is really out there taking this serious. Like, I'm gonna go and step out on my man because Klay Thompson, NBA champion, has 4 rings and millions of dollars, chose to break up with a rapper named after a male horse. Right? You know, she's a stallion. Stallions are male horses. I get the metaphor, but it's always been kind of oxymoronic, if I can say that. I don't know if I can say that word. Sometimes I make up words on Outlaw Radio. Y'all have to Google that for me. What is Ace saying in the chat room? He said, it said that Clay was cool with Tory Lanez because of her image. He doesn't respect that. Well, you know, he should have knew that anyways. And I'm pretty sure Clay ain't tripping. I mean, I'm pretty sure his PR, he has PR people because he's playing basketball for $1 billion league. The NBA is a world player. I'm pretty sure that no rapper can tarnish their image or one of their star players. Um, so I'm pretty sure he has a great PR group, and I'm pretty sure that this will be over. It'll be over pretty soon, and she'll be back to dating the next athlete. She's had a soccer player. She's had a couple NBA players. You know, it's just once again, it's a judgment free zone, man. I think people should be allowed to do what they want to do, but when you put it out there in the public and you kind of open yourself up to being judged, so you know that's why I'm not extra critical. And I see all this stuff about black men hate Megan Thee Stallion, and I was like, no, 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 that's a misnomer. I haven't heard any brothers really put any kind of positive spins on this whole thing because you know most of us as real brothers, we're not that invested. I'm not really looking to see who's dating who. I don't care about celebrity couples, right? Like, since oh y'all a symbol of black love, okay, okay. More often than not, celebrities are a symbol of celebrities. That's what they are, or you know, that's all they are. They're not. They don't really represent anything in real life because most of the time, in this case, we're talking about a game. Somebody who plays a game, bouncing the ball up and down the court. Then you start talking about Hollywood people, and like they get paid to act like someone else, and we lose our minds over them because we got to sit for a couple hours and watch them play dress up and act like someone else. Say, oh, he killed that role, and it's like, okay. It's almost like you give awards for fake shit, right? That's pretty much what celebrities are. People who get paid to fake it for a living. A says, is she the first black Kardashian? Is she? I don't know at this point. I don't know what she is. I don't know what she is. I know she was a rapper. I know that. What is she now? What does she stand for? 10 years down the line, when we look back at celebrities 10 years down the line and say, you know, from a generational perspective, what did this person stand for? What was their thing? What will be Megan's thing? A lot of these female rappers, like Sexy Red, what will be when people look back at it in the future? What will be Sexy Red's thing? Like people say, like we look at and especially with hip hop, we say, okay, you look at somebody like KRS-One, you say he was about conscious rap, he was about teaching. He's the teacher. That's his nickname. Rakim is the greatest MC in a lot of people's mind because Rakim changed the very way rap was formulated. Um, Take somebody like Big Daddy Kane, who brought this super suave, smooth personality to the microphone, with a lot of witty wordplay. He was another game changer, but he represented like a very high level of intelligence and entertainment at the same time. You look at NWA, they brought the streets, they brought the voice of the streets to the booth. What is Sexy Red 10 years from now? What is she going? What's her thing? Right? The Booty Hole Brown song, the lip gloss with names like gonorrhea and discharge and shit like that. And I mean, most of these female rappers, what? Because I look at Lil Kim and if you ever listen to Lil Kim stuff from the 90s when rap was a little bit different, Lil Kim was hard. Like her lyrics was hard, man. She was something else. She could get in there and tussle with the boys. But then she went into this kind of, I don't know if you call it a downward spiral, and she started having all this plastic surgery and body enhancements. And when you see her now, it's like, what the hell happened? What when we look at her and say, well, what was her thing? Is she the hip hop Michael Jackson? Because Michael Jackson made the greatest album of all time, Thriller, and looked like a young black man with a jerry curl, and then the next time we seen him, he looked like a white girl with a perm. I don't know. Celebrity has a weird way of fucking with people's heads, man. So I don't know if she'll be. I don't know if she's a black Kardashian yet. I don't know. I don't know what her. That's interesting though. What will be a lot of these female rappers? Because you look at Queen Latifah with her newfound lesbianism aside, and her new with her wife, when you don't hear from her a lot, but she was a sister who was behind the scenes, making music, doing movies, doing TV shows. The Flavor Unit management put a lot of people on, a lot of other rappers, and she stood for a message that was really pro black woman. But what is Glorilla gonna? What's gonna be her thing in 10 years? What's the other girl's name? Lotto. What are these? What's gonna be? What people look back and say, man, she stood up for, or she stood for, or she represented what? Kia is still touring off my neck and my back. Damn near 20 years later. That's all I'm saying. Ace says she's part of the poison those people use to tarnish melatonin people. Does she tarnish melanated people? See, I don't even think she represents the average black woman. I don't. Because the average black woman doesn't behave in that fashion. I mean, there's a lot out there who are, watch me bend over and watch. I don't know how many twerkers it is on social media and on the internet, but I don't think that's the average black woman. If you walk in the average place, you walk in the normal place, and the average sisters, they're all bent over twerking, then I say this the Megan Thee Stallion effect, but I don't see it. Now, have there been a lot who've tried to duplicate her success by just, hey, turn the camera on, I'm just gonna bend over and go to shaking my ass? Of course, yes, that's been, but when we talk about pop culture, it's a lot of cultural homogenization in the first place. So a lot of companies are looking for that next, who's the next twerker? We want the next twerker, and hopefully they say something or make a song like WAP, or make a song like Sukiana, or Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. Like, yeah, they'll recreate that. Ewok says some delusional chick said nobody knew who Clay was until he got with Meg. That's what's wrong with females. They be on another planet what they thinking. Yeah, maybe if you didn't watch the NBA, you didn't know who Klay Thompson was. Maybe you don't know who the Splash Brothers were. Maybe if you don't keep up with professional sports, you didn't know who this brother was. You didn't know he had been at one point somewhat of a generational talent. Of course, he's fallen off the tree a little bit in the last few years. I think this might be the worst season he's had, ironically and coincidentally. He was with Meg, right? Maybe Clay need to get back in the gym. But I feel like he put in enough work where he could take some time off and basketball not be the most important thing in his life. I mean, you got to be able to do something more than just bounce the ball, right? Like, so I don't know what Clay learned from Meg, but I hope he used it. I hope he used the time constructively. Yeah, but I don't, to anybody who says that, like, first of all, he got real money. Especially nowadays, rap money is not real money. They don't make the money that they used to, and they've never made, artists have never made the money we thought they did. We find that out now, time after time. They've never made the kind of money that we thought they made. But Clay had NBA money. Yes, he been making over $10 million for the last, I don't know, 12, 15 years. So he got money on a whole different level. And like I said, the NBA is a global thing, so he's known all overseas and everywhere. I don't think he needed her to validate him. Maybe for the new social media crowds, he needed her to validate him if he wanted his Instagram clicks to go up or something of that nature. But other than that, Clay was straight. He was straight. Um, A says she's put here to misinfluence our young ladies. Sex sells. Remember, they tried to have Miley Cyrus out here tweaking too. They did, and Miley played into it for a minute. Then she stopped messing with black people altogether. Right? Miley was out here with all the rappers. They had her out here popping ecstasy, drinking lean, smoking, doing whatever. Her daddy, Billy Ray Cyrus, said, "No, that's enough of that. That's enough of that." Miley got the fuck up out of Dodge. Yes, she was out here twerking for a minute, wasn't she? Miley Cyrus. Oh my goodness. And see, that's what, like I said, that's what we do. We're so quick to share or sell our culture to other people because, we never stop creating. And so you see what happens. We let them in, they get very comfortable, and then things change, right? And this is something that I want to talk about tonight with the whole Boosie versus DJ Vlad, and now Corey Holcomb is been thrust into the mix as well. So if you don't pay attention, like I said, I live in the podverse, so a lot of people don't engage in YouTube or stuff like that. I do. I watch a lot of YouTube. I probably watch more YouTube than I watch regular television. Let me see who's this in the chat room. It says Slick L. Cloyd. Big Kev, I finally caught you live. Love, family. What it do? Now, who's this? Slick L. Cloyd. Who is this? What's your real name now? What's your real name? I don't know. I don't know your code name or your social media name. I got to go look at the picture and say, oh, that's. But anyways, you obviously know me. What it do, man? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Share the show. Let people know you checked us out. Nick. He said it's Nick. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of Nicks. I know a lot of Nicks. What it do, Nick? He said it's Nick. Okay. I ain't trying to be funny. He's oh, you acting like you didn't know me. I really at this point I don't. I have to do more research on who you are. But so the whole DJ Vlad thing is DJ Vlad is a guy who's a Russian Jew who a long time ago started a platform called Vlad TV. And Vlad became very famous for his interview style in which he's off camera and the guest is on camera and he's just kind of asking questions. And there's over the years, there's been a lot of controversial stuff on Vlad. There's been some rappers. What was the rapper from Philly? AR who went on and I don't know for what reason this brother went on there and got to talking about their criminal operation in Philly and how they operated and this kind of thing. And he got indicted immediately. He's in prison right now. There's been several other individuals who've gone on Vlad TV and gotten indicted. Some people have even been what they say unalived and lost their lives. But it's very popular. Vlad TV is very popular amongst black people. And I can tell you why. Because Vlad TV is going to interview people who are pertinent to our culture. People who we haven't seen in a while. People who we have forgotten about, people who don't get mainstream exposure, favorite rappers from the old school. And so to his credit, he dived head first. He dove head first into there. But over the years, Vlad has shown that he's tone deaf when it comes to actually dealing with foundational black Americans. In particular, he had an incident with the minister Louis Farrakhan in which he misquoted the minister. And once he was corrected, he refused to apologize. Okay. He refused to apologize. He refused to admit that he had done wrong. So at that point, Lord Jamar and Godfrey, who were frequent guests of his, who were giving all these classic interviews, they decided not to come back on Vlad. Over the years, Vlad has, like I said, some big time interviews. So I say Glad. If you've been watching Vlad, Crunchy Black from the 3 6 Mafia spent the whole interview calling him Glad. and people just took it. It just took off. It was hilarious. It was,
No, he did not fucking call him Glad
called
the
him
whole
Glad
interview.
the whole time. The
I
whole time
love
he
Chunky
kept
Black.
saying Glad. It was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
And this was some of his early because Vlad has had huge interviews. But over the years, like somebody like Marlon Wayans said, well, if you're going to interview me, you have to pay me X amount of dollars. Vlad refused. There was a huge back and forth. I've spoke to the fact that I've reached out to certain celebrities and asked them to come on Outlaw Radio. And shout out to the ones who have OG Big Mike, Mac Mall. A while ago we had Willie Dion before he blew up as a social media content creator. Oh man, we've had so many. AMG, Tweet Cadillac from the Penthouse Players Click, just a bunch of different national artists. MC Shan, I've had the pleasure of interviewing a lot of them, a lot of those entertainers, and they came off and it was free. But I did reach out to some who said, "Yo, you got to pay me, right?" Like I know one of my favorite rappers all time was Sibo, West Coast rapper Sibo from back in the days. Sibo told me I had to have a stack or better up front, so that was pretty much the end of that. I did reach out one time to West Coast Cam, and he said, "Well, I got to get paid." I'm like, "Well, how much is?" Because I don't pay people to come on, and he never gave me, he never would give me a number. He just said that I needed to offer him a number, and I didn't because I don't pay people for interviews because my show I don't make money off my show like that. But Vlad is a millionaire. He's made millions off of our culture talking to us. So he pays. Now, this Boosie thing where there's memes, there's snippets, there's clips of Boosie on Vlad everywhere. He's made millions of dollars off of interviewing Lil Boosie. And he was paying Boosie $25,000 per interview, which is crazy. Okay. And I'm not saying Boosie doesn't deserve it, but
yeah, for sure.
That is phenomenal. Boosie wanted a increase because I guess he's seen, or somebody probably tapped him on his shoulder and said, "Yo, he's making so much money off of your interviews. It's not just the initial appearance because he cuts up the interviews and they go all over every social media platform, So Boosie wanted a $5,000 increase. DJ Vlad said no, and he showed.
That's fair though.
Well, from 25,000 to 30, I don't know. Vlad said he said basically every time he interviewed Boosie, he stood to make a $10,000 profit. So that 5,000,
that's what he said?
It would cut into his overall profit because he gave a bunch of reasons. And it's been a back and forth for the last 2 weeks.
He don't tell the truth though. So I don't really trust Vlad. Yeah, he
produced his spreadsheets. He said he showed Boosie the numbers, whatever, what have you. So, of course, now if you have been going on Vlad pretty regularly, which there are a lot of celebrities who do,
yeah, for sure,
you find out that Boosie's getting $25,000 per interview, and some of them are getting $2,000, $3,000. Some of them not even nowhere near that much. So Corey Holcomb, I'm sorry, not Corey Holcomb, but Ari Spears, who has been pretty vocal on Vlad, decides that he's gonna go on and say he wants a pay increase because I guess he's getting like $4,000 per interview. And so Vlad came on and just destroyed him. He shitted on him basically, and told him you ain't worth it. You don't do what Boosie does. You're not Boosie. And he told him, fuck you. You're no longer welcome on my platform. So this has been back and forth all week. Everybody's chiming in about, was Boosie wrong? Is Vlad right? Vlad's a businessman. Corey Holcomb was made to look pretty silly because he really came with he showed some YouTube comments of people saying that they only watch Vlad when he's on there. And everybody's like, that's no way to negotiate business. But also there's a thing of Boosie doesn't need Vlad as much as Ari Spears needs Vlad. Ari Spears needs Vlad for his visibility. But I
Oh man.
just feel like some of the stuff he's come on there and said about Ice Cube,
Yeah, I was
and
about
other
to
things he
chime.
said, this is kind of like what you get. It's karma. It's karma. You run out, and the white man got you up there, and the white man got you on that stage.
Exactly what he be doing, bro. That's exactly he be shuffling, dude. Because
Yeah.
it was so unnecessary. Because it's one thing to not like Mr. Jackson, who is worth over 150 million, who has an elite movie brand, has an elite brand himself, and who is not a freaking hip hop great. He's a freaking institution. And for you to come at him and then you just tap dance and to do it like, dude, I hate Aries Spears, bro. I do, as far as not as a person because I don't know him, as far as that persona, because I saw him on Corey Holcomb, and I think that's how you got it. You kind of confused it a little bit for half a second.
It is.
No, because he was on there and got his ass whooped by not Craig. He got his ass whooped by the other dude on Corey.
So
yeah, he got his ass whooped by Zoe. So this dude is a clown. $4,000 is about $3,000 too much for his punk ass to be on Vlad anyway, dog. No, dude, I can't stand dude. And he always shitting on somebody. Ice Cube is an excellent actor. You can say you don't like him, but to go over the top, he the same in every movie and then try to clown him. Do you know your career has never even reached the mid heights that Ice Cube's career on the, when he was settling into just being a mogul? Your career ain't even hit that. Like in 2003, no, not even 2003. Even when he did the Loke song with Jeezy and them, Ice Cube was still relevant. I had my little young cousins downloading that shit, bro. They're like, yeah, that song you did with Jeezy, cold. I heard that new Ice Cube OG, he cold. I was like, what you telling me for? I know he cold. They're like, no, he's letting you know we know. Fuck out of here.
Ace Cooley in the chat room, he said, DJ Vlad is America's biggest culture vulture. It's sad that he works with the feds. It's said that he works with the feds. I don't, when you put something on video and you put it on YouTube, you don't have to work with the feds. They can see YouTube as well, right? Like it ain't like it's a gangster YouTube page where only street people get to see it. He is a culture vulture. I don't know that he works with the feds.
His mom apparently is the FBI interpreter.
Okay. It's a possibility.
That's fair when people say that and they add that point. That's fair.
Yeah, but I tell you this, anybody, even myself right now, I got a platform. One thing I've not done is brought street people on who had street reputations to talk about their street careers, okay? Because that makes me complicit. And so if there's any problem in the feds, reach out to me and say, hey, yo, we need that footage.
You in the middle of that shit.
I got to give it up, right? Like I don't have a choice. I have to give it up, right? If some of my footage gets subpoenaed, it has to be turned over to them. So, I haven't never really wanted people to come on and tell street stories. Ace Cooley said, I can't blame Boosie dealing with that Jerry Heller ass Jaybird.
There we go.
He says Tony Yayo used to be on Vlad's platform quite a bit until 50 told him he would pay him to leave Vlad alone. Tony Yayo just returned. I just seen the advertisement.
I was gonna say that's not true.
Tony, well, 50 did do that. He did offer him.
50. No, I'm talking about, but the Yayo, he did not leave. He didn't used to be.
Yeah, I just seen the advertisement that said he returns to Vlad TV. So he's not.
He's entertaining, bro, because he's a real street dude. It's funny to listen to him talk about shit now. Like, I would never be involved in A, B, C, and D because it ain't worth my freedom. I love when cats come from that to, no, I ain't doing that. Like the Jim Jones shit. They was like, if you saw Jim Jones, what would happen? He said fucking nothing. He's like, absolutely nothing is going to happen. Yeah, because he's not going to jail for that. Yeah.
Mikey Deacon Davis, what it do, homie? It's neighborhood right there. He said, what up, Outlaw fam? How you doing, Mike? Hope everything going good, man. See, you got out to do some more fishing. I need to get on that bank myself this summer, man. Jeff Crape, man, what it do, man? From my neighborhood, I grew up with Jeff. He said, what's good, fam? What's good, Jeff? How you doing, man? You know what? I feel like with Boosie, some of Boosie's rants are hilarious.
Yes.
But I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of him.
I don't even listen to any of his music. I can't name 2 songs.
Hip-hop wise, he was generations after my time. He's okay, I guess. I don't, but he's had some stuff that he's, he spoke on some topics on there, and I thought they were more funny. It wasn't somebody who I thought added any kind of socio-political commentary or anything like that. Or I don't think he's talked about anything on Vlad that moved us as a people forward. It's always good to be entertained, though. It's room for entertainment.
Yeah,
Um,
it's room for people
even
like
with
that. You're
Harry,
right.
even though I'm with you on him talking down on Ice Cube, because I think at this point, Ice Cube has put himself in the position of an institution as far as foundational Black American and hip hop
Yes.
culture goes. Ice Cube is an institution, whether it be his work with NWA, his solo work, his acting, or his movie producing, right? Like he's went behind the cameras and produced some things. So I think Ice Cube is one of those brothers, even with the Big Three Sports League right now, as
Thank
opposed
you.
to, being a ball writer of the NBA, which some celebrities do. He went out and started his own league. And so
Four. Oh,
and
four
so
words.
I
Death
think I
certificate.
thought that what Ari Spears said about him was dumb because first of all, you should never let somebody hype you up, and you have to understand the way the media works. If you are a black man, you should never let the media hype you up to go on a white platform and talk down on another black person.
Hell
That
no.
is counterproductive as shit. That is COINTELPRO at its finest.
Yeah.
That is the agenda of gay J. Edgar Hoover all the way up and back. So I didn't feel like that was valid, but I thought like what he said, what he said about the African rappers, I thought that shit was hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
or the English rappers,
He
not
funny. He can say some funny shit. You ain't wrong. But I was gonna ask you. Speaking of that, and there's another brother who's smart. But did you hear what Chris Brown said about Usher?
I did not. Now that's something I really ain't got news on.
Yeah, they were trying to get him to say this should be a versus and who's the real king or whatever. He said it's just like he said about Michael Jackson. He said, I am just honored to be on stage with this man and I'm not qualified. He said, I am thanking God that he let me be on this tour. Thank you. And walk the fuck off.
And that's how it should be handled.
That's how
Right?
it should be.
How it
Yes.
should be handled. I don't know. I think Chris Brown has managed to forge a hell of a career. And he is a talented brother, but so is Usher. So that would be a versus that you might want to see. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
He because they going on tour together. He looking at him like that's big, bro. I ain't finna say nothing negative. This dude is my idol. He said that. He said that's Usher Raymond, bro. No. Yeah, he's like, no, y'all not gonna get me to talk bad about him or be like, oh, I'm better than him because nope, he wasn't falling into
I
the
wish
trap.
more of us took that pathway because we are quick to throw each other under the
I
bus.
like that, bro. Yes.
And so that is a stand-up act on his part.
I love that, man, because now that makes me like him more.
He says I can't get with Boosie because he glorifies crash outs. He was talking shady about Gucci Man because he went to the police about Pooh Shiesty and his father kidnapping
Oh
him.
yeah, that's fucking stupid shit.
Yeah, that's something I would expect Boosie to talk about though. And that really has no bearing on nothing important for us. Like Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane, like, come on, man, that's bottom of the barrel discussion. Like, that's how did that become a thing, right? Like, well, I guess it's
Megan.
if one's supposed to be a street dude and the others, they're both supposed to be street dudes. He shouldn't go to the police and talk about how he was, done. So, yeah, I can't give you any kind of credit or props, or you even validate you because you spoke on, Pooh Shiesty and his daddy kidnapping Gucci Mane. Like, okay, more, but there's some people who want to see that. There's an audience for that, obviously. So
what was Gucci Mane supposed to do? I'm confused. What is Gucci Mane supposed to do besides what he did? Because I don't know. Last time he checked, he has a beautiful family, got beautiful kids, got a beautiful wife. He's a multimillionaire. What is he supposed to do?
He has positioned himself over the years as a quote unquote street dude.
He is. He was rather. He was.
And
He's a civilian now.
Code, everybody talks about the G code in which you're not supposed to talk to the police.
You're not supposed to if you're in the streets. Absolutely, he's not.
Right, but he is a representation. That's what he's represented. His entire career has been that he's a representation of a street dude, and so people feel like for you to go and testify when somebody kidnaps you means you're not a street dude. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So. And when you no longer participate in street activities, I'll give you an example. I'll use myself as an example. I grew up on 28th and Meineke. I was part of a subculture for many, many years. So guess what? If something happened to me now, what am I going to do? What, I'm going to go retaliate? I ain't been in the hood in years now. I'm 50 years old. No, I'm not a street dude. I'm a civilian. No, if I go to the police, ain't nobody gonna look at me funny because 2/3 of my friends are dead, and it's a portion of the rest in prison in my family. So what am I supposed to do? No,
This is also not a street platform though. So I
no,
don't think anybody would expect you from being
to
on
do some
here at
shit like
least
that.
to they're not expecting anything street out of you. And myself neither, even though
This shit dumb,
had
bro.
I've had my days, but you know, if you came through here and you kidnapped me, you and your daddy,
That's
I'm
different.
absolutely talking to the police. I'm absolutely talking to the police because I want to
Yeah,
let the police know that the next time I see you and your father somewhere, there might be gunplay. Because I'm gonna be ready. Kidnap me once is my fault. Kidnap me twice.
shame on me. Shit.
Right. Right. Well, you
Yeah,
kidnap me
yeah,
once, it's your fault. Kidnap me
yeah.
twice is my fault, right?
Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed? What are you? And that's what I don't understand. And it's always people that have never been part of that environment that always got an opinion on it. The thing that real people that's really been from the block, that's really been about drama and all that shit, don't nobody want to be there. Every drug dealer I met that was a drug dealer never wanted to sell drugs at a certain point. They wanted to get out of their situation and better their lives. I had two of my friends that sold dope for years. Once they had an opportunity to go to college, Kevin, they stopped. I don't understand the mentality, bro. That shit is stupid. You got a beautiful wife, beautiful family. You go out here, as the kids say, you crash out. You know what? You deserve to go to jail. Go to jail for the rest of your damn life. You sound stupid.
Yeah. I understand it. But I don't
Me
endorse
too.
it. I totally understand it. I just don't endorse it.
Hell no.
A says, I only say this because Gucci Mane and put in some work.
He has.
At what point is a man allowed to leave the streets alone? Fuck these idiots.
And he should be leaving them alone.
He said, put in work. He done shot people. He done did his time in jail.
He killed a motherfucker.
At 50 years old and a millionaire, he's supposed to go to the police. And I think that's what a lot of people had an issue with Vlad, is that you felt like it was low hanging fruit. Like the people a lot of times that he interviewed. And another culture vulture that I really don't like, that right now I think his platform is going to go the way of the dinosaurs, Adam 22, with the No Jumper podcast, in which it's all about having gang members and like former criminals on and having them talk about.
I've seen clips. Bro. Yeah, that shit is embarrassing.
I'll give it to Vlad. It's not just black people, because he's had Sammy the Bull Gravano.
Yeah, you have everybody on there. Yeah,
Michael Francese. He's had like guys who were mobsters, who, you know, individuals who actually turned and testified and turn witness against Sammy the Bull turned and testified against John Gotti.
He killed. Oh, you know what though? I used to do a lot of research on the Sicilian Mafia, not necessarily like the shit that necessarily is over there, because, you know, that's a different faction. But I just researched a lot of it because I found it intriguing, because I used to do a lot of research on the Russian mob, the Jamaican Mafia in America, and so on and so forth. And the one thing about Sammy's thing was, and they don't really talk about a lot, John wanted Sammy to take the complete fall so he could be free. They don't talk about how John was going to fucking basically set Sammy up for the fall. And they alluded to it in the earlier Gotti movie with Armand Asante. And then I think they talked about it again in the one with John Travolta. It just seemed, from everything I've read, and I read files on it, it seemed like John was going to flip, because he wasn't going to flip. Let me rephrase that. He was going to try to coerce Sammy into talking about, you know what I'm saying, and taking the fall, quote unquote, because it was important so he could run the family. And Sammy obviously took the route that Sammy took. That one is intriguing, though, Cav and OG. That's intriguing, because when I studied that, I was like, yeah, that's an interesting one.
My take from it, from all the things I've watched, is that at one point, John Gotti is on tape, and he's because of the wiretaps.
Yeah,
he's saying basically he wanted Sammy dead, and he felt like that Sammy was doing too much business wise. So there was a fracture in their relationship. But my point is, Vlad has had these kind of people on too. So it's not just black people. It is just, low tier entertainment, low IQ entertainment. And let's be honest, if he's a Russian Jew, how much is he supposed to be vested in our community, in our affairs? Zero. But so we can't expect that from him. He's a businessman. He's out to make money. I felt like that's why Ari Spears looked the stupidest, because Vlad said on his video initially, when he said, we're not friends, this is business, right? Like, so Ari Spears was hurt, and he was saying like, well, you told me we were friends. and it was just like you look stupid by thinking that
and
you and him were friends, right? Like
it goes to what we were just talking about, him going after Ice Cube and doing all this, just not being intelligent as far as straight-laced intelligence. He's just not smart. Why would you think that this motherfucker is your friend when he's shown you that he really
he
isn't?
told him he was his friend.
Oh, he told him that? I'm sorry, I
Oh,
never knew that.
he said on many occasions, "You told me we were friends." So it's very
Oh,
butthurt about.
really? Okay,
Yeah,
I kind of take that back then. Oh,
I
he
watched.
told you that?
This is Ari Spears' response to it too, as well. So you got to watch that
Okay,
part too.
okay,
Which
okay, okay.
doctor? What it do, man? I ain't trying to
What up,
catch you.
family?
Jesus
All right,
Christ.
all right. You know, I feel it go back to when we used to talk about the drill rappers all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like different rappers that go on there and be telling their business and shit. You know, like I don't blame Vlad, I blame them. Because the first rule is don't tell your business. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you break the rule. You can't get mad at this culture vulture for putting you on tape because you ready to go blab off everything that's going on around you. You know what I mean? You can't blame him.
Right. I agree. I mean, like I said, I think Vlad is one of the latest example of black people who get too happy around a white person who says or makes it seem like they like you or they can appreciate us and the dynamic nature of us. And you get very happy and, oh, they can come to the cookout and, oh, he's a cool white boy and all this. And usually that white person is going to commoditize your relationship and make it beneficial to him or her. And that's the way they're going to operate. That's how white people operate. And then the black person is usually left confused, dazed and confused. Like, I can't believe he did that to me. Like, why? Like, it's like I say, you stick your head in the alligator's mouth and the alligator bites down on your head. The alligator didn't go crazy. He went alligator. That's what alligators do.
He went alligator.
So, yeah, remember Siegfried and Roy? When they used to always do the work with the tigers in Vegas and all this. And then one day, I don't know what this tiger was mad about, but he towed one of their asses up. I don't know if it was Siegfried or Roy, but he towed his ass up, right? And people were saying, oh, the tiger went crazy on stage. And it was like, no, the tiger was just a tiger on stage.
The tiger went tiger.
You ain't supposed to put your head in no tiger's mouth, right? Like
the tiger went tiger on stage.
Right. So Vlad didn't do nothing wrong. Vlad did Vlad. He did what a Russian Jew would do to a bunch of overly excited, amped up Negroes who were just itching,
looking for a couple dollars.
Yeah, trying to get some paper, man. Trying to get some paper. Ace says, I feel like Adam 22 gonna get himself killed. A lot of the Cali gangsters are getting tired of the exploitation of the California gang life. Yeah, but a lot of them still go on there. And Adam 22 is a real weirdo because he's like a cuck. Like he likes to sit around and watch individuals, you know, do things with his wife. And that's the thing about him and Whack 100 is they've been engaged in some kind of crazy, freaky behavior. And I just seen Whack 100 on there the other couple of days ago going absolutely ballistic on this guy. He's known as the racist Puerto Rican or something like that. He talks a lot of stuff about black people, and he's a Puerto Rican. And I guess
black.
No, he's not part black. He's a Latino, and he was on the phone, and he and Whack 100 had a back and forth, and then Adam 22 actually brought him on the show. So the footage now you see is Whack 100 going absolutely crazy, acting like he wanted to fight this dude on the show. But Adam 22 has had some dudes who are in jail right now. He's had somebody. What's the dude who got his ass whooped and his pants snatched off? Some gang shit up there at his studio. I can't remember his name. But yeah, he's you know, it's Adam 22 is one of the most disgusting. I don't watch No Jumper. I've never really been into No Jumper. So, but it exists, and there are a lot of individuals who need some money who willing to go in there and tell their story.
No Jumper falling off.
It would seem like they're not as up as they were at one point.
They ain't. Yeah. I feel like they're falling off.
But we never know. We never know because people don't.
Yeah, they can have something, but I'm with you guys. Like you never know. Whatever.
Because I thought when Vlad disrespected Minister Farrakhan and a lot of black artists and a lot of black people were saying don't do Vlad anymore, but people still did it. Celebrities still went up there. They couldn't wait to go up there and sit down and talk. So
It depends on which ones, and it's funny you said that because I just noticed with a lot of things, like because my older brother listened. He when we were younger, he used to listen to a lot of Minister Farrakhan, and it's funny because if you just listen to a lot of the things the minister has said, it's just man, he's almost like Nostradamus. He's been so right with a lot of it, especially as far as what we need to do economically. Because if you look at what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad always talked about in regard to businesses and black businesses, he was just on point. And this is way before any, you know what I'm saying, way before things really got put on the internet and people have all of these different resources to educate themselves. It just shows you that a lot of our elders, man, they were really on point. And we have we have so much, foundation to where we can just learn so much more. Yeah, and I thought people would stop going to this man's show after he's lied on Minister Farrakhan. I'm actually shocked on that one. I don't understand why that didn't happen, but like you said, a lot of them still going there, Kev. It is what it is.
I'm not going to sit here and say I agree with everything the minister has said.
No, not at all.
I think his record in terms of his working with black people, in particular disenfranchised black people, and providing a pathway out of the madness into some semblance of what we call sense is unmatched. I don't think any black leader we have can match his track record. And I love to hear him talk because there's so much truth in what he says, right? Like I'm not
smart guy.
Myself, I'm not a Muslim. I don't prescribe to, I'm not FOI, but when he talks about us as a people, he says a lot of things that mean and hold a lot of weight.
Yes.
So, I really, and so I thought, that people would start ignoring Vlad too, but
I ain't gonna lie.
We're fickle like that because we want to hear Boosie. So we'll say, forget his disrespect towards the minister. I want to hear Boosie. That's almost like Boosie has more weight in the community and way less of a track record in terms of helping us. I mean, Boosie has a day here and they've given him accommodations and keys to the city, but I've never seen him offer anything social of quality in terms of the social structure of the streets. I've never seen him offer anything of value to the city. So, it's like when they gave Snoop a day and all this, and 5 minutes after he left, teenagers were shooting each other at Juneteenth. Snoop was here on Juneteenth Day. He performed at Potawatomi and didn't even go to Juneteenth. So this is why I don't put a high price on celebrities. Like if it's not somebody like Jim Brown or a celebrity like that who's gone into the trenches and said I'm rocking with the people, I don't really put a lot of weight on their name like that. So
and Malcolm X always talked about that, and I had a tear almost brought to my eye about 3 weeks ago. My son was home from school, and my daughter was with him, and they're still in Wisconsin, and he wanted to do something on television. And I used to do this when I used to pick RJ up from school. When I would pick her up, I would have Malcolm X, as far as ballads or the Bullet or whatever, I would have that playing in the background. So my daughter is very socially conscious. When Emerson was at home, when he was laying on the couch, he was like, hey, Emmy, if you want to watch your cartoons, you have to watch something historical and you have to watch something that's foundational Black American. And my son said, Malcolm X. She thought he was going to watch one speech. My 9-year-old watched Brother Malcolm for about 2 hours, just different speeches and things he did. And honestly, man, I know I might sound like a sucker or whatever, but I got teary-eyed because I think, motherfuckers look at that and be like, oh man, this dude, he a sucker. But
cornball.
Yeah, exactly. He a cornball. Yeah, I love being a cornball. I'm
alive. The new Papoose.
Exactly. I got a grandson and everything. I'm happy. Don't talk about Papoose because I can jump into that. But yeah, man, and I think it's important for us to really teach our kids. Like, that's the cool thing. Hold on, kid, we got to go on the Papoose. I didn't realize that it's so many different dynamics with that brother. It's so many different dynamics.
Papoose because years and years ago, and Kamar, I don't know if you remember this.
I like him.
I had put a post up and said that Papoose was a cornball because of the way his relationship with Remy Ma and the way he's presented on Love and Hip Hop. And there was some ladies out there who had serious issues with it. And they spent the whole show trolling Kamar and myself about me saying he was a cornball. Right. And then lo and behold, years later, as things play out, you see how that whole thing panned out for Papoose. Right. Like, so that's why I always throw him in the mix. Let me go to the chat room. This is Ace Cooley. He says, I agree with Kev. Motherfuckers want to eliminate the only real motherfucker from the equation. He said, yeah, you're right. He said, I was talking about the loose cannon crash out incident that took place on the outside of No Jumper headquarters. Yeah, I know it was something. It was a huge gang fight, and somebody got knocked out, and it was
that was back when it was popping.
That was last year, early last year.
It was Adam 22 was popping back then.
Yeah. Ruben Anderson, good evening. What to do, Ruben? I'm glad you are out there. I know I want to talk about. There is, unfortunate. There was a murder here a couple weeks ago of a barber. I didn't know this brother because he's not my barber, but he was a very popular barber, I guess. And so people are seeing a lot of people saluting him on Facebook, you know, talking about his murder or his death. And today we see that there was a 64-year-old man who has been arrested and charged with his murder. So, Ruben, I wanted to know if you knew anything about that. I know you are into kind of on the forefront of addressing a lot of the violence and the senseless murders in our city. So I wanted to know if you knew anything about that, because I sure would like to know what makes a 60, and this brother was, I think, maybe 30 years old. I wanted to know, because what people were saying on social media was that this brother was pretty popular with the ladies, I guess. And I'm going simply off what I seen on Facebook, y'all. So if you're his family member, or if you knew him and this is wrong, you feel free to let me know. But I'm hearing that he was pretty popular with the ladies. So is this another case of a brother dying over a female in some way, or a woman, you know, his relationship with a woman? I don't know. I because the newspaper doesn't really give you a whole lot of details. It just says that this man was apprehended. They found a gun, and they're saying he's 64 years old. Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, so we were talking about and if you're just tuning in, it's Outlaw Radio. It's the Hump Day edition. It's Outlaw Radio, real talk on a Wednesday. The number's on the bottom of the screen if you want to call in, 262-202-5131. The Cash App is down there too. Ain't nobody hit the Cash App in a minute. If you want to hit that Cash App, feel free to donate to the show. It only improves what we do and how we can do it. It's just like anything else, the price of doing the show has gone up, right? Like prices, the cost of living in America right now is borderline ridiculous. And so when we talk about our current president and our current elected officials, Congress, Senate,
something.
When we start talking about these individuals, the first thing we should be talking about is the increasing costs of living in this country. Gas, the price of gas is up. The price of grocery is up. Everything you have or have been involved in over the last year has experienced a price increase, right? And a lot of this stuff is principles that was promised to us during these political runs, where people would say, well, the taxes aren't going to go up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make our economy more stable. And it's just not true. So if you can't find any other reason to criticize our current leadership in this country, you should be looking at the cost of living. The cost of air has gone up in America. Like, I don't even know. There's nothing here that has not increased. I stopped at the gas pump the other day. I said, damn, because I had got kind of used to $2.50 a gallon, right? Like, so it's like, okay, which by the standards that I grew up on is still extremely high. I remember when gas was 65, 75 cents a gallon, right? And I see, like, we got to the point where we $2 and $2.50, $3. It's like, okay, now it's almost $5. And some of it is premium is over $5. And so I said, okay, if you go to the grocery store, ground beef, chicken wings, all these kinds, this food is sky high. People used to say, forget going out to eat at a restaurant all the time. I'm going to go home and cook. I'm going to go to the grocery store, buy the food. I'll cook it myself because it was supposedly more affordable. Not anymore. Not anymore. You go to the grocery store, I'm gonna make tacos for dinner. Go to the grocery store and buy the necessary ingredients. You leaving there with a $50 bill. Like, And you can't just walk through the grocery store and just buy what you came for, because they're gonna have some shit in there. You gonna be like, I'm getting some of these too. I don't know how many times I done went in the grocery store to make chicken and came out with sushi, right? Like, yes, I am a black man who does enjoy eating sushi from time to time. So I go to Metro Market, I'm gonna find some shit and be like, oh, I'm getting this. And you didn't, this is not what you came for, Kev. But you know, ended up
Hey, a lot of time that's what make them grocery store trips expensive. Well,
absolutely.
the impulse buys.
Yeah, it's like the Walmart effect, where you used to try to go to Walmart for one thing and leave out with a bunch of other shit and get home and say, why I buy this? I do not need this shit, right? Like, so it's just, I see Dion in the chat room. He said gas is $4.29. 87 is $4.29. Okay. He said, I'm like, what the fuck? Right? You know, it's crazy. But the price of everything, like we just went to Argentina, Venezuela. We were supposed to take some oil, but even that had a reverse effect. It drove the price of gas up. It didn't bring it down. So
and what you're talking about, and what you're not alluding to, what you expressed, Kev, it's hard for me. By the way, I got a friend. She actually got her job back at the FBI. This administration is, in one word, incompetent. It's obvious. I don't even argue with people on it. But the thing is, though, the supporters, like people, and I won't say anyone's name, and I just sent an invitation to two people that listen to the show that I know are Trump supporters. And all I have to say is, because one of them chimed in, like, I'm watching now. And this is to you. I'm not going to say your name. Call the fuck in, because we told you this was going to happen. You guys tried to shit on people like me. You tried to shit on independents. I'm putting a video together tomorrow, just so you know, where independents are at 79% disapproval rating for this fucking clown rapist pedophile that we have in the White House right now. You guys literally sacrifice your morals. You call yourselves Christians, and you made a few extra dollars in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and then you try to attack people because we don't want to support this fucking clown you have in the White House. This dude is a racist. He's went through every avenue to go ahead and strip black people of anything we've had historically through any type of political, governmental monuments. These people, Kev, I try, because I'm a Christian, I try to forgive. Dude, I have literally X'd out every Trump supporter in my orbit. I don't fuck with nobody that supports that shit, bro. I don't.
At a certain point, at a certain point, people have to be honest. And it doesn't matter if you voted for him, because you see, even this sexual harassment lawsuit settlement was at $64 million that he had approved, or that he had appealed. The appeal was thrown out this morning, so he's on the hook for the $64 million. And I'm hoping that
E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah.
And he should have, because he grabbed her pussy on the airplane. Fuck that dude.
Is this the one where he was in the store, where they were in a department?
I'm sorry, it's the one in the store. I'm sorry. One of the other 23 allegations was grabbing her pussy on the airplane. I'm sorry. E. Jean Carroll was in the store, and he just tried to finger her in a freaking changing room or something. Sick.
Yeah, it was something along those lines.
Yeah, bitch ass.
He said he just took a trip to Milwaukee on premium, and he said, I bullshit you not, it cost me $87 to fill up. Yeah, because you was on premium. Yes. Yeah.
It would have still been $70 almost with the regular.
Said, I'm gonna add, I'm on a 6-cylinder engine. That's crazy. Yeah, man. I'm more concerned with the price of what it costs to eat. Shit, a Big Mac value meal is $13. You know what used to be the draw of extra value meals is that they was value meals. I remember when them shits was $3.99. You go to a fast food restaurant now, it's like eating at a gourmet restaurant. The shit is like, damn, the combo is like $11. Like, what? It's like I might as well just barbecue and spend the money. This is Ruben. Shout out to Ruben Anderson. He said it was personal in regards to this brother's murder. He said it was personal, and I'm willing to bet he's going to try to plead insanity. He said others are saying it was a paid hit, but I'm in the dark on this particular case. Okay. He said, I'm working on the case of the brother from Hillside. It's an ugly situation that reaches back to Chicago. The victim was murdered because he refused to shoot up a rival motorcycle group in the city. It's deep. Yikes. Okay. I have seen that as well, that there was a brother from Hillside who was taken away from us. Um, let me see. He says, this is Ruben. He said, I like dude, very intelligent brother. Who we talking about? Who we talking about, Ruben? Who you like? That's intelligent. Let's give him their flowers. This is Ace. He says, because he is a billionaire and has been, and how he has ran the country in the ground just tells me that success is not earned, it's given. Shout out to Kerry Walker Jones. Shout out to Carrie, man. Carrie always adds some funny shit. She was in rare form on Monday. She had me laughing in the comments. She says, I'm convinced that Trump supporters are mentally ill. How do you not believe what you see? Well, see, that's where I was going in terms of I've gotten away from being hateful towards these people. Right now, I'm just questioning how anyone can still, at this point, deny or lie or try to push any of this stuff under the rug. Like, this has been easily the most traumatizing presidential regime that we've experienced in our lifetime, right? And I grew up during Reaganomics. So, and they were rough times for black people, right? But this Trump thing has been one embarrassment after another. And all people really want you to do is just admit it. Just admit it. My issue with a lot of Trump supporters from the beginning has been them tap dancing around issues and not admitting certain things were silly. I got a text from Scott Epicet, and he was telling me how this new redistricting is going to be so good for black people because it's going to give Republicans more seats in the House. I think they gained 12 seats in the House.
He's a fucking moron.
Well, he's a Republican, and this is gerrymandering.
No, he's not a Republican.
He's Scott Epicet.
No, he's not. He's a
Republican by nature, though. He's
you mean from that side of the aisle? Yeah. But I'm just saying in general, fuck him. Yeah.
Well, this is gerrymandering. We're talking about a practice of them the Republicans being allowed to go into places where they don't have the votership and being able to change those districts to places that are more favorable for them so they can win elections. And even like the saddest part now is that the Supreme Court has made a ruling on the Voting Rights Act, right? Like, this is what all of the talking heads, Al Sharpton and all of them are upset about, because they've made a change to the Voting Rights Act in regards to redistricting, because a lot of states, like we see what happened to Jasmine Crockett in Texas, right? We don't even have to go that far. If you know Milwaukee's history, look at what happened to Mike McGee Sr. They redistrict they reorganized his district. So he couldn't get reelected in terms of his aldermanic position. So this has been something that they've been doing for a very long time. It's just, you're just moving the goalposts, right? Like, it's stupid. It is.
Hey, I was gonna add, Kev, I might have a Trump supporter calling in. He owns an extremely large business in Wisconsin. He asked me how could he call in, and you can thank me later.
Dion says, fuck Trump. He said, I hate anyone that voted for him. Kerry Walker says, mentally ill is the only way to not acknowledge the truth. And Ruben is in the chat room. He said, hey, I'd like to know if a mother can call in and talk about the details of this case. Absolutely. I don't have anything against that. That's fine, Ruben. I do have a caller on the line right now. It might be either Ian's, the person you invited, or the person you're talking about. Caller, you're on live on Outlaw Radio. How you doing? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Ian told me to call in.
You are
going to yell at me or something.
You're live on the air right now. What's on your mind?
I don't know. I think Ian called to pick on me.
Well, no. I didn't call to pick on you, Jeff. It's just because we're talking about Trump, and we're talking about the nonsensical nature of all the things he's done. And before you chime in, I realize that you have made a lot of money and you've saved a lot of money in taxes, but the average person hasn't done well under this administration. So
I think this administration.
Go ahead, Jeff. What'd you say?
I don't know.
Can make money.
Okay.
And they're saying, "Oh, this is only my entire life." Obviously, anybody making over 10 grand a year.
Hey Jeff, you keep breaking up, man. I don't know what's happening. Where are you at? Are you at the office? Because I know your warehouse is fucked up with the signals.
Yeah, Jeff is going in and out. His signal.
Yeah, he got a warehouse in Brookfield, man. It's like 30,000 square feet. So when he go to certain spots,
I'm out in the driveway. I'm out in
are
the
you in the
driveway.
driveway? Okay, go ahead.
I cut out there for a minute.
Yeah, back it up about 1 minute.
I don't know. This administration's been good for me. That's all I can say. Had Kamala won, I would have been screwed because they would have let the TCJA expire just because they hate everything that he does. That would have cost me close to 20 grand.
But the thing is, though, Jeff, hold on 1 second. Hold that thought, Jeff. We talked about that shit before. Yeah, it would have cost you 20K, bro. But the problem with that is, look at all the other shit that this motherfucker is doing. And that's the problems I have. Like, dude, like with you, like I said, I understand, like, I'm not going to go into your net worth and all that shit. I understand why you voted for him, bro. But like the average motherfucker, dude, they're screwed voting for him. Like the average white person that voted for him, like I'm closing on my investment property Friday, right? And I can do certain things, but I still didn't fuck with him because I knew the long-term shit and why it was bad. That's all I was trying to tell you, but I know, I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Well, on your property, do you know what would have happened to capital gains had the TCJA expired? You would have gotten screwed even harder.
Yeah, I would have gotten screwed, but the thing is, it's worth it because look at his approval rating right now. Well, the reason it's worth it because of everything that, far as the cost of groceries, far as gasoline, like, bro, far as our business right now, every fucking 2 days, one of my vans, and I got 3 vans in rotation right now in our transportation component, is $75 to $100 a fucking every 3-day period. So I'm spending hundreds of dollars far as just shipping people out and with my transportation component, and I'm making a profit, but I'm making way less because of this incompetent that y'all seem to love. That's all I'm saying.
It'll come back. It will come back. Look at what the worst happened under Biden. I paid $519. It's $419 now, but I paid $519 under Biden.
But for how long? And I understand what you're saying about Biden, but if you look at GDP, in regards to GDP, you look at far as employment, payroll tax, and everything else, man, shit was going on a downturn in a good way. We were making more money, and if we would have kept going at that rate, her budget was $4.6 trillion. Trump has already spent more than that, and with the war in Iraq, dog, he just wasn't good. And that's all I was saying.
We almost had to do the war in Iraq, and that will be over sooner than later. That's no long-term thing. We're squeezing those people. They're gonna. We're playing a game with them, and they're gonna have to shit or get off the pot. They're in a real bad way. You know, we got them choked off from everything. Now, from what I see, in a couple weeks, they're going to have to shut off their wells, which is terrible, because when you shut off a well and bring it back on, you're hoping for 50 or 60% capacity. We're playing chess right now. We're playing.
Yeah, and I understand where you're coming from, and I had a motherfucker tell me that too, though, Jeff. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kev.
Hold on. Let me finish this. Oil hurts me way more than it hurts you three combined.
I know it does.
My business, everything I manufacture is derived from petroleum. So all of my raw material costs have just gone bananas. I mean, to me, gas doesn't even matter when you see what has happened to my production costs here.
But you're talking about you, though, Jeff.
Wait a minute. So my question is this, and I hear both of you are having a discussion that's based on the economics. And I've said many a times, I'm a person that's people over profits first.
I'm profits over people.
Well, obviously so. And that is the perspective of a lot of Republicans. No, that's the perspective of a lot of
Yep.
Republicans, and I think that's the issue most
Well, I
people
don't want to
have with
hurt
them.
nobody.
Well, hold on.
I don't want to hurt
Let
anybody.
me
I
finish.
just want.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
You may not individually want to hurt people, but you support a party and a president that has hurt people. Now, if we talk about his code, his code of his moral compass, right? Like his record, he is a convicted
adjudicated rapist
towards women. You're talking about acts of war that have been perpetrated. You've talked about where we're talking about him issuing or bringing in a whole new wave of xenophobia towards groups of people in this country, his movements with ICE and all this kind of thing. And I'm for controlling immigration to a certain degree. But for me, it's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. So by the logic of the Republican Party, we don't care if you're an immoral, white, nationalist, racist, morally corrupt individual. If we can make a few extra dollars, that is like kind of like the point of this presidency. If people who make a certain amount of money can say, hey, I made some money, you can throw all the extra shit that this dude does out of the window, right? Like you can. And when you talk about going after us, and I mean us as foundational Black Americans on the back end, attacking history, and then going with this false narrative on DEI, in which we're not even the biggest benefactors of DEI. White women are.
White women.
So, but it's been an attack on our history. All of a sudden, you don't want to tell history the way it really went. You're reconstructing civil rights monuments. You're taking Black people who are in positions of power and influence within your own government, and you're removing them. And you came in with a whole cabinet full of known, admitted white supremacists.
It's all public record too, which is actually kind of odd.
His whole cabinet is the least diverse cabinet I've ever seen.
I've never seen anything quite like that, bro.
So if you as an individual is like, well, it helped me with my business and it helped me with my money, that's fine. That's fine. And if you can justify that, that's fine.
Yeah. But I've just voted red up and down the ballot since 1987. I go to every election. I don't even know half the names. I just hit every Republican person, and I just have always done that. Now my son, who just started voting, he has no choice but to do that. He has to show me, this is illegal, and I'm talking about it on air, but he has to show me a picture of his ballot showing me that he voted red up and down the ballot. He has no choice, because if he does anything different, the bank of dad is cut off. And he knows the bank of dad.
And see, and hold on, Jeff. And that's why I be like, that's fucked up, because you got little C money over there. You fucking with him about the money and the inheritance and everything else. And that's kind of my point, though, bro. Like, the thing is, though, what if it's a better fucking candidate on the left side of the aisle for that particular election? That's where me and you go back and forth. Because like I said, man, I've known you for years now. I got a lot of love for you. You the man. But the thing is, I don't agree with your politics, and I don't like none of that shit. And you know me and you don't went back and forth about that. I hate that shit.
I hope people, in particular, my people, are paying attention to what he just said. Because my son is old enough to vote now. But I want to teach my son how to vote for someone who has his best interests at heart, as opposed to some sort of partisan politics, because we see what happens when you just vote blindly. You see, you saying you voted Republican blindly since 1987. There's been a lot of counterproductive Republicans sitting in office since that time. And so for you to be able to threaten your son and say, if you don't vote red, I'm not putting you off. This shows what they do. This is the continuation of when we talk about, you know, the dynamic in this country. This is why this is able to go on, because you have wealthy individuals who say, no, you're going to vote red or I'm cutting you off. That's what I was going to say.
I do want to add before, because I know Jeff want to chime in. Jeff
hung up. I don't know. Jeff, are you still with us, or did your call
still there?
Drop? No, Jeff hung up.
Oh, he hung up because honestly,
call drop. Or he just
me and him literally have gone back and forth about this shit. Like, because they be like, man, you shouldn't be like this. I'm like, no, motherfucker, I should be. And let me explain to you. But the thing is, the difference between me and Jeff, and trust me, I came from a certain environment, but I've met so many people, and honestly, I'll tell you a little bit about, our relationship too. Like, Jeff is, not to go into his net worth, dude. When I say he got money, he has a fucking 40 car collection and whatever else. So
That's fine.
when I explained to him some of this shit, I mean, he done did business with the dudes. What's the show? It's called Pickers. The motherfuckers on A&E where they buy shit. Like, he know the motherfuckers personally. He done donated to Trump and all this stuff. And he was getting frustrated at me because I'm just like, man, nah, all that shit y'all talking, that's some sucker shit. Well, it's not sucker shit. And I'd be like, nah, bro, it is. And I'll tell you why. He's not a bad guy. It's just he votes like we should vote for his best interest. His best interest as a motherfucker that makes 7 figures, and he's white. He should vote that way. But it just goes into the things we've always said. Man, it's not about that shit. It needs to be about the people. What did he say to you? He said it's about profits over people. Didn't he say that?
Right, but I think this is too why I don't really hang around white people. Like,
no, and that's why I wanted him to call in so you can see where I am.
I don't have time to sit around and have debates with wealthy white people about this kind of thing.
Because he definitely is super wealthy. He said, "Let me back." Hold on. He said, "Let me back." Hold on. He's trying to call back.
If they can't see this and admit that Trump is full of shit because they made a few dollars, then our conversation is useless.
Do you want him to call back in, Kev, or no?
The phone line is open. It should be straight now.
Okay, I just told him to call back. He just.
Dion was trying to call. Dion was trying to call. Let me see. Okay.
Oh, put Dion and Jeff.
All right, I'm back.
Carrie, hold on. Let me. I'm in my chat room. I'm in my chat room. Give me a second. Carrie Walker Jones said 20,000 versus people going homeless and hungry. What's 20K to a millionaire? Well, if they are the type of person that says it's about profit over people, then that answers your question, Carrie. That doesn't matter to them. Ace Cooley.
No.
Hold on. Let me finish my chat room. Ace Cooley said that's the problem with Trumpers. They don't give a fuck about anyone else in this country, but yet want the motherfuckers who don't make. They want the motherfuckers who don't make the money to fight the war in the country. Yet it doesn't benefit the average Joe. He said, what about those of us who making less than 230K? At this point, he has turned all of us into what does that say? I can't see what that says. Turn all of us into minorities. Dion is saying the phone is going straight to voicemail. Dion, I think I kind of remedied it. I think I got you on the line now. Ace said he was trying to call in. Ace said he was trying to call in. I had to hit a button, man. I zigged when I should have zagged.
Joe, I gotta give Jeff props for calling in, though. Jeff, you on a different platform.
Jeff, you're back. What did you want to add? I want to give you a chance to speak your mind. What else did you want to add?
Well, I'm not. When I say profits over people, I'm not standing with my hand out. I don't want anything from anybody. I just want to work hard 7 days a week, like I have since I was 18 years old. Running multiple businesses, building lots of businesses. I just want to be left alone. I understand I have to pay a certain amount of tax. That is fine with me. We need infrastructure, but I do have empathy, but I have zero empathy for laziness. None. You know how lucky everybody is that Trump's president and not me? Because let me tell you, if you're collecting a government check, you're going to be moving sand from one end of a parking lot to another all day, every day, till you hate it so much you beg to get a job. I tolerate zero laziness.
Hold on, Dion. Jeff, I do have one question, though. I got one question before y'all chime in. I just want to say one thing. It's only going to take about a minute. I have a member at our business, and his father probably makes about $32,000 a year. So the member at our business, he has developmental disabilities. He comes.
That's different.
Yeah, hold on. It's different. But hold on. You know where I'm about to go with this. That's why you're interjecting. Let me finish, Jeff, and I'm going to explain it. Our president, the guy who you like a lot, because of some of the programs that got stripped, this guy can't come to my program anymore. And that's why I hate him so much. because I have at least 30 members that can't come to my business anymore. And it's not about me making money, because there's a guy, his name is David, he Jewish guy. He got so mad at me. He was like, "Oh, you don't get the STEMI check anymore." No, we have like 5 different parts of our business. The reason I got upset is because I got guys like him that just want to come and color every day and do karaoke. They can't come anymore because we have to pay for a war in Iran that we didn't have to go to. And that's the issue I have. Like I said, like some people literally, and I'm almost done. Some people think that like I'm just on the internet, like talking shit or whatever. I don't have to do this. The only reason I do this is because Kevin was so kind to let me come on here and OG to kind of just speak and do the things I do. Like you already know, like, you know, Jeff, like they might not know, but you know, man, I had opportunities to work with President Trump. I literally was part of Tim Michael's campaign. We've done so much. Like I know Scott Walker personally, but I don't agree with their fucking methods. I don't like what they do. I've told Scott that to his face. Like, what the fuck are you doing with the Act 10? You should have talked to the teachers first. But it is what it is. I don't really go into them details or whatever. But it is what it is.
A minute, Ian, because I just want to ask Jeff a question. Because Jeff, I hear you talk about that you have multiple businesses and things like this. So did you pull yourself up by your bootstraps? I mean, did your dad leave you some money? How did
dad
you
left me nothing? My dad did.
No, Jeff a hustler though. He a hustler.
Mm-hmm. My dad sat me down when I was 18 years old, and he said, "Let me tell you something. Do you know what the most important book you ever read in your life besides the Bible was?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "The most important book you ever read is The 3 Little Pigs. You can be like your friend Nick and Brian and party and run off with your band and build your house of straw, or you can roll up your sleeves and wipe the sweat off your brow and build that house of brick. But when the big bad wolf comes, and he's going to come many, many times in your life, not just once, he's coming a lot. You're going to want to be sitting in that house of brick."
Jeff, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't believe that without some type of economic
100% on my own.
So hold on. Let me tell you what you had. You had white privilege by your skin color. You was given the benefit of the doubt. Whether you went to a bank and got a loan, where me and you could have both went in there with the same.
Cut you off.
No. Because I just don't believe it. See, that's the thing about white people that y'all always say. Well, if I built this brick by brick, somewhere down the line, an uncle, a niece, an auntie, somebody gave you something. You know, I had the same conversation with a guy in Jackson. Turned out his dad owns a trucking company, going about 30, 40 trucks at a time. You feel what I'm saying? So you can sit up there, you're not telling the truth. You're not telling the honest to God truth, because I don't believe you. Because if it was that easy, we all would sit up here.
It was not easy.
Because I just don't believe it. I don't. Yes.
He may be telling.
And you want to talk about white
privilege?
I wish I would have had black privilege, because I went to the bank for a loan, and they told me to get a minority, and they give me the loan. So I did it with no loan, none, didn't borrow nothing. I got reverse discriminated because I was white.
So Jeff, first of all, let's listen.
I'm about to mute you, don't care.
Okay, so first of all, there's no such thing as black privilege in the United States. And what I don't want to get into in terms of narratives, and this is one of my issues with the Republican Party too, is that people of color, in particular foundational Black Americans, are the poster children for handouts, that we all want some sort of a handout.
I don't think that.
Well, just let me finish. I want to respect everybody's ability to communicate. I got some more people on the phone. I want everybody to be heard. But I think, and maybe you don't as an individual, and kudos to you if you don't feel that way. But I'm saying Trump puts a battery in the back of a lot of racist people who feel that way. And there's been a lot of social service programs that have been attacked, and they've been taken away from people who actually need them, because not everyone, not every young man growing up in this world, unfortunately, has a father to sit him down and give him that 3 Little Pigs talk that your dad gave you. Now, I was fortunate enough that I had a father who did the same thing, who told me, don't expect anybody to give you anything. You have to work your ass off for whatever it is that you want, And if you want to add to it, you're going to have to work some more your ass off. And that's the moral of life, is that you're going to have to work for whatever you want. Nobody's going to give you anything, and you can't cry about any of the lack of privilege. That's why I don't cry about not having generational wealth. I don't cry about my family not being, me not being raised by a millionaire, because my father wasn't a millionaire, but he was rich morally, and he was a real man. And
that's how we were raised also.
He raised me to be that way, and I've raised my son and my daughter to be that way. But this false narrative of us as people, and let's be honest, I don't see how anybody in this whole universe could call us as foundational Black Americans lazy when we willingly worked for free while white people sat and watched and supervised
and went to wars.
If it's anybody who's lazy, it's them.
Oh, I'm not calling.
I didn't say you did.
No, not you, Jeff. You never said that.
African American people lazy.
I didn't say you did. I'm talking about the Republican Party. I'm talking about
and Jeff,
the wave of energy that Trump has put out here in our country. And during his first presidency, we've seen a rise in terms of overt racism and discrimination. We've seen a
failed
rise in
presidency, by the way.
And now during his second one, we knew what was coming. You see racism, racist white people, Karens and whatnot, rearing their ugly heads more and more now. They're more aggressive towards us now under Trump, because he empowers that kind of thought. And it might not be you. I don't know you personally, so I can't say, if that's you or not.
Ian does, and he knows I'm not that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing though, Kev, like with me and Jeff, and we go back and forth. Like we talk about this, and far as from a business standpoint and everything, like I understand everything he says, because obviously I'm an entrepreneur myself, but it's like, damn, I'm like, bro, you can't see why we fucking hate this motherfucker as far as how he operates and the things that he does, but he can't. And it's not because of any lack of intelligence. Like Jeff got like a master's degree, very intelligent, multimillionaire, all that kind of shit. But the thing is though, like, bro, it doesn't apply to everyone. These people don't give a fuck about poor people. And that's all I'm saying. They don't give a fuck about people that look like me. They don't, and it's obvious.
So now we got Ace on the line, and I believe Ruben's on the line. So Ace, what's on your mind?
And I'm gonna add this too, just from the economic standpoint of knowledge, man. See, and here's another thing. And by us not having that, having that parent or that family member to give us that free little pig cut, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. White people have all the loopholes, especially when it comes to tax breaks and things of that nature that we didn't know about. So
yes, all the numbers say that
by the bootstraps, and then on top of that, when you talk about the Black privilege, I really want to know who you really think is getting most of the welfare funds in this country. If I may ask.
That's another show.
Okay.
Well, I was only saying that. I only said Black privilege because I got denied the loan and told to get a minority partner. And they didn't say get an African American partner. It could have been any minority.
Yeah, all you had to do was get a white woman. You'd have been in there.
I could have got a woman. But I didn't want that.
I got me one. That's how I did it.
Hey! Before we continue, Jeff is a bachelor. Jeff is a player, though. Jeff don't discriminate when it comes to women. Just for the record.
No, I'm just saying, when you say minority, and that's just the thing. The whole conversation about minorities and civil rights and all this.
Well, I could have got an Indian or anybody,
But it's not. People want to put that on us. They want to put that on us, and that's not the case nowadays. Because even with the whole DEI conversation, we as a people didn't really benefit from this whole DEI thing like people want to make it out to be. I can tell you from my industry, social services and workforce development and education, we weren't elevated to positions of leadership and decision making. There was no increase in the rate that we were hired. But what there was an increase of is more women, more homosexuals, more Latinos, more Asians. We have been the most objectified people in the history of this country, but we've been at the end of the line when it comes to making things right in this country. So a lot of people, Republicans in general, want to promote, these people just want a handout. They just want something for nothing. No, people just want an equal opportunity, right? Like
Yes.
I believe, and this has been controversial over the years. I believe in separate but equal. I don't mind us being separate as long as the table is even, right? Like, so if you don't want to live around me, if you don't want me in your neighborhood, in your town, or your wherever, I don't need to be there. I don't want to eat in your restaurant where you don't want me at, so
And
you can spit in my food.
and that
All I
and
say is
unfortunately,
just make sure that the opportunities for me to establish my own is there. And if I build it,
well,
don't you bring your ass over there and burn it down or start to terrorize it. That's been the
what
problem in
are you
America.
talking about when they bombed Philadelphia, or are you talking about Rosewood, or are you talking
Talking about
about Black
period.
Wall Street?
Talking about
Rosewood,
period.
Philadelphia,
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's kind of my
Detroit.
point. I was gonna say, hold on one second, Dion, and that's kind of my point. It's like, as far as the sensibility, as far as on Outlaw Radio and the things that we talk about, that's kind of my point. Like one thing that's good about me, because I can just say something good about everybody, but that's good about me. I have friends on both sides of the aisle. Like Jeff, I got to give you props for calling in, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought you would not call in, because I sent
No, of
another
course I will.
text message. No. You were real when I give it to you. I don't agree with your politics, but I still love you for a lot of reasons. But the thing is, though, I sent another message to another Trump supporter, and he black, and his black ass ain't gonna call in because he know what time it is. See, they're cool with being where they are in regard to support for Trump and everything else. And then I'm gonna wrap it up and let y'all comment. But the thing is, though, like, you stand on what you're saying, and in our community, we call it standing on business. You standing on business, and that's why Kevin made some comments and was like, he understands where you were coming from. We don't agree with it, but we understand where
Yeah.
you're coming from. But the thing is, though, the person that I sent the other text message to, he's a black person, aka he's a nigga. He ain't gonna call into the show because he know he gonna get his ass ripped up, because he shouldn't be supporting this bullshit.
Well, hold on. Well,
I got a lot of black customers that
Well,
support.
I know you do, Jeff. Jeff,
and
you ain't racist at all.
let's not do that though, Ian, because I don't want no black person out there that does want to support Trump or is a Republican or a conservative
for sure.
feel like they can't call into a foundational Black American platform and be heard. But what we have noticed is
He's not gonna call though, because
we've allowed Jeff to speak.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
he hasn't been attacked. But anytime a black person is going to call in,
I appreciate that.
Any black person that calls in and expresses that kind of conservatism is going to be attacked in the chat room and on the line.
Yeah,
they're you a
Why is that?
Because we don't like to see someone who looks like us stand with the other side.
Well, it's fake though, Jeff. If you really think about it, like for
Towards the
instance,
other
when
side,
you
go
Jeff,
against things that benefit our community.
That's the other side.
Well, you gentlemen
have another
need to
comment.
Jeff, you called in, but you're standing on business from your perspective. The
Jeff,
reason the black person,
I'm sorry, I was trying to talk to Ace. Ace, that is
my
the other
fault.
side. What you just said is that's the other side. If you're not standing with us with our ideology, and we're talking about what's best for our community, you standing on the other side. And when it comes to Republicans and how Trump has treated the minorities in this country, us
he don't
included,
like black people.
Black people don't like to see somebody stand with the other side. It's that whole adage
It's
of
that simple.
House slaves versus field slaves. It's that whole thing again. So that's why
they stopped calling no, Kev.
Any black conservative that calls in is going to get attacked. They're gonna be called all kinds of Uncle Tom.
Yeah, that's why.
All kinds of things. So I want anybody who's out there who's a person of color that is a Republican or that is conservative, please feel free to call in. Nobody's gonna disrespect you. If they do, I will hang up on that person.
Yeah, and the reason I was bringing that up like that though, Kev, is because I think that, quote unquote, far to use a freaking cliche, down deep, they know that they're wrong. They don't even believe it. A lot of them are grifting. And the one person I sent a text to, I won't say his name, he's grifting. He doesn't believe it. Like, you see how Jeff believes what he's saying? He's a real one. We don't agree with him, but he's being real.
And any of you people are welcome at my table anytime. Put it that way.
Hey, Jeff,
let him talk, y'all.
You're welcome at my kitchen table.
No, hold on. Let him talk.
For 30 years now, I've dealt with every race, creed, and religion you could possibly name. in the automotive business.
Yeah.
From illegal people to everything. And I love everyone. I get along with everybody. Anybody's welcome at my house anytime. Like you said, don't mess with my neighborhood. Shit, buy the house next door. We'll have a barbecue. I don't care. As long as you're good people, that's all that matters.
Well, that's fine.
Jeff, I have a question for you.
Jeff, you a multi-millionaire though.
Wait a minute. Let me get. Is Ruben on this line?
Oh yeah.
I thought Ruben had called in. I tried to.
Jeff, but you're in a different space, my friend.
Wait a minute, Ian. Wait a minute.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to make sure because I know there was another Arizona number. Maybe that was Ace.
That probably.
Okay, Dion, my bad for cutting you off. Go ahead, Dion.
So Jeff, you seem like a smart guy. So I want to.
I don't know about that.
Richard Nixon. Well, you're a Republican, so I know you studied the Republican policy. So you go back to Richard Nixon if you would like. Name one policy that the Republican Party has passed, not tax-wise, with a wealthy
I'll be
benefit.
right back.
Just the average man, the everyday worker. That's the grunt worker, the steel workers, the coal workers that bleed red, white, and blue. Just name one, two, how many other policies that you could come up with going back to Nixon that has benefited the American people, the American man, woman, and child. A Republican policy.
I think the PCJA has.
What is the PCJ?
The Trump jobs, the big tax thing he put through in 2017.
But they've been laying people off, though. Okay, all right, okay. All right, let me restate it. Okay, let me restate it again. I would like to know, going back to Richard Nixon, what type of policy? You're a Republican, so before Trump even existed, it was Reagan, Bush, the first Bush, Nixon, Gerald Ford. So let's go back. Name a policy that the Republicans have passed. Like I could say Obama passed the ACA, which is the Affordable Health Care Act. So if you got workers at your job and you don't, if you don't provide them health insurance, then they have to get Obamacare. But it's called the Affordable Health Care Act. You feel what I'm saying? So name a policy. Name a policy that the Republicans have passed that benefited everybody. From the guy in West Virginia digging out the coal to the auto worker in Detroit. And you could go back to Richard Nixon. And we talking about a policy. Like whatever you could think of, a policy that was enacted through a Republican president that benefited everyone.
All I can say off the top of my head is the Democrats like to tax the shit out of everybody. The Republicans like everybody to give it all back.
Okay. Well,
no, if you like working harder,
I'm gonna mute.
Go ahead.
I'm listening, but I just mute because.
I
go ahead.
think the Democrats, you're right, they do like to tax everybody, but the problem is the Republicans only benefit the over $240K, basically.
Not. Look at the tax percentage and brackets before Trump did that in 2017 and after. And you tell me
if you want to go to that, man, I can just go because I'm a money guy. I'm a lender. So I'm gonna be like, just the stuff we could write off. Being W-2, Trump cut a lot of that stuff off for us. You see what I'm saying? I can't write off my cell phone, my gas, and all that no more. When he did the tax changes, it kind of screwed the W-2 people. Now it still left the 1099s open. You see what I'm saying? It's stuff like that, man, that people really don't realize. I mean, a lot of this little stuff that he does, and I'm gonna be honest with you. You can ask these guys on radio. I can't stand the Democrats. I am no Democrat. I can't deal with people that play party politics because I pretty much feel like it only benefits the elites. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I'm far from elite.
No, I'm not saying you, man. I'm not saying you particularly. I'm saying you make some money.
I've done well. I've been very blessed, but I'm not elite. I am.
I get that. But see, that's the problem. Like right now.
Did he say he's not elite?
The Democrats. when I feel like when the Democrats with the immigrant situation, and we were Republicans with this, I can't even say their names, and because he's giving them so much leeway. They're at the top of everybody's banks. And they're the reason we're in this war, but I can't say it could kind of affect my livelihood. And so everybody's giving it. To me, everybody's giving the country away, and they don't care about the American people. The true problem with this country is the corporations because they want cheap labor. That is the problem.
So let me go to my chat room because I got people in the chat room. Kerry Walker Jones says the ones that need them to care about the 20K make it possible for them to make their millions. She says, are your workers making $1 million a year? No, they're making living wages from the millionaire, and they are not lazy helping you make your money. Shout out to Ruben. I thought Ruben was on the line. He said, can't believe this guy. Where did he come from? He said that part. Kerry Walker says, I make a good salary and my bosses make millions. My hard work makes them make their millions. Ruben Anderson says, how many families of color are prospering because of your company? Give it to him. He said, give it to him. He said, whatever. Kerry as well. She says, hold on, y'all. Let me.
I want to chime in when you're done, Kev.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Yes, sir.
Back to where I was. Because there's some big ones in here.
Yes, sir.
And I shout out to Jeff for being a guest that makes people want to speak.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Jeff.
Kerry Walker says, yes, that good old privilege. She said, I was in college and went for a job at AT&T that my white friends who just climbed off of a pole went for, and she got the job. She's been there since and just retired with $3 million. That just happened to my aunt. What to do, Ewok? He says, I'm with Dion. If Jeff couldn't get a loan, where did his startup money come from? Sharita Shaw, how you doing?
I started the company with $15,000 that I saved up.
I was just about to say that.
I hid my garbage in other people's garbage because I couldn't afford a dumpster.
Jeff, you worked your ass off. We know you did.
I will say this. I got a lot of privilege. My dad was my privilege. He couldn't give me no money, but his knowledge was huge.
Exactly.
He was on disability. He couldn't give me no money.
Jeff,
I didn't say that. He gave me a place to live. He gave me a place to live when I started the business, which was huge.
You're not your average millionaire, bro.
I was 27 years old while I was building. So he put a roof over my. He didn't give me money for the business, but having a roof over your head is huge.
He made it easy.
And his knowledge and his advice was a privilege. And I would give everything I had to have 2 minutes of that again. I lost him in 2014 and almost ruined my life over that. But yes, my dad was a privilege.
So shout out to Sharita Shaw. She's in the chat room. She said, hey, family. Ruben said, lazy. I wake up at 3 a.m. to talk to my father, kiss my wife, and go to get that bag.
I didn't hear him say that.
He says, I have 22 employees working from my location. Hold on. This is Ruben. I want to get his comment.
I'm gonna chime in when he's done.
Hold on, because it's skipping around on me. He's talking about his business, I think.
He said, I have 22 employees working on my relocation service, and I run circles around them. I drive for a charity and oversee an advocacy group and give back 50% of my relocation service goes to feeding the homeless and helping others that are in need. Nothing lazy about my life. And he said, you have the same mindset as every Republican I've ever listened to. Soon as everything is over, I want to chime in real quick.
He said, hold on, let me finish. He said, let's throw a party at your place. Don't tell.
Jeff
don't
got a
want-
nice house, by the way.
you
But it's
don't-
crazy.
you
Yeah,
don't
he got a
want- you don't
nice
want
house.
the north side to pull up. You don't want the north side to pull up. Carrie Walker said the middle class
No,
are
he
hit
don't
the
let the north
hardest.
side pull up. That's what's so funny.
She said the middle class are hit the hardest on either side. Ruben said my wife is keeping me from calling, and I honestly think it's best. Hey,
No, he need to call.
there's room for everybody to express themselves. We don't got to be angry.
No, not at all.
Earl said you can never. This is Earl Henning. He said you can never ever be well off working for someone.
Exactly.
Aisha, the therapist. How you doing?
That's
She
my
gave us a bunch
sister.
of
That's
high
my
fives.
sister. I love you, baby.
How you doing? Sharita Shaw said
My
Jeff
business partner.
at least listened to him and didn't steal his ideas and gave him the credit. I don't know who she's talking about. I don't.
No,
I'm
no.
Just
Are we
please
ready,
come
or
from-
can I chime in real quick, or somebody else got to say something?
So here's the deal, and so I'm a person. I don't believe in partisan politics either. I'm not.
No, not at all.
Contrary to popular belief.
Well, I'm not a.
Well, hold on. A lot of people believe.
Hold
if
on,
you
Jeff.
are-
That's
I'm
not
on
where
my
he.
own.
That's
The
not where he
Republican
going.
Party just
Well, you
suits me better.
said you voted blindly since '87, right? So you are a person who believes in partisan politics.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Jeff, listen to what KB about to say, because I actually know where he going with
What
this.
I'm saying is, I believe in people over politics, and I'm not. A lot of people think if you are a foundational Black American with any sort of intellectual perspective, you are Velcro to the Democratic Party, and I am not. And as a matter of fact, anything in terms of entitlements, in terms of entitlements, I'm totally against unless you are elderly, disabled, or mentally ill. I think those are the people. I think it's our responsibility as a society to take care of those people. In particular, elderly people who have worked 40 and 50 years and gotten to the point where they're not mobile as they used to be. And then you get a president that wants to come in and disable Medicaid, Medicare, and say, well, no more entitlements. Well, these are the people that made it so you'll have a country to preside over. And so when it comes to myself and my platform, it will get passionate a lot of times because people speak from their own personal perspective. So a lot of people who are on one side or the other are going to be against the other side. And you will hear people speak with a lot of passion, and there will be a lot of anger sometimes. I've always just wanted to create a platform where people can talk out their differences without being disrespectful or insulting each other or calling people out their names. So I would just ask if everybody just keep the conversation cordial. Jeff is a guest on the show. He's here to represent himself. I don't want nobody to go. Y'all know this is Outlaw Radio.
Because I'm gonna ask Jeff to call in next week.
My family will go hard. My Outlaw family will go hard.
Oh, I was gonna say, can I chime, or we got somebody else?
Well, hold on, Ruben. This is Ruben in the chat room. He said, "My bad, I was speaking into a mic."
Yeah.
You're not on the line, Ruben. I can't hear you. He says true. So go ahead, Ian.
Okay. I hear somebody in the background.
Yeah, I just want to add this really quick. My friend Jeff is a hardworking motherfucker. He really is. And Jeff, I don't want you to think that nobody thought you got what you got because you were quote unquote privileged. But once you are at a certain income, it's easier because most of America is white.
It is. There's no doubt.
Okay, and he just said it, right?
And let's be honest, we live in Wisconsin, which is 86% white. So white people have some advantages in terms of getting to the money.
Yes, and that's one of the things I was saying, like myself included. Now I'm gonna add myself into it to not add to Jeff's point, but just to kind of add to a point overall. Within the next few years, I have a few investment things that I'm doing. I'm probably my net worth is going to increase exponentially. But my point is, because of how President Trump does business, I think that's safe to say it like that. How he does business, it doesn't help everybody. It hurts. Now, Jeff, to be quite frank, I'm not going to lie. The business I'm part of, it's not going to affect any of us as far as gas prices, anything else. But to the average Lucy, the average Lula, the average Marie, when they got to go to the grocery store and do things for their kids, It does. And that's the reason I hate the Republican Party right now. Because me and you, Jeff, we ain't talked in a couple weeks. We text or whatever. But we got to the point where we were mad. Like, I have two friends, they're professional
I
fighters.
wasn't mad at you.
No, I know you weren't. No, I got love for you always, bro.
You
And by the way,
me, but I wasn't mad at you.
No, for sure. No, man, I got your back. You know that. But I was gonna say, when you come to Arizona, motherfucker, I'm part of the club, and there's some good golf and this shit. But we'll talk off air. But my thing is though,
you gotta hear what I did. You guys gotta hear what I did. Ian, you'll
hold, chime in. What?
I'm gonna be honest, just for what I'm hearing. I mean, he don't sound like a bad guy, but
he's not.
Him,
he really ain't though.
He's a conservative. He's a conservative for different reasons than other people are.
Yeah, for sure.
He said he ain't a Republican.
I'm only a conservative over money.
Are you a Republican? Are you a Republican?
Yeah,
I vote Republican because they give me the best.
You vote Republican. People. The problem is you got other people that vote for Republican for different reasons.
For sure.
And I only vote for taxes. That's it.
That's it.
I voted for Harris.
It's against their own. It's against their own benefit. And I'm gonna be honest with you. We ain't even got to the judicial and the policing part of this yet, because that's what shit really gonna hurt. And how they handle the judicial system.
No, I was gonna fuck with Harris because honestly, I think Harris would have just been just for everybody listening. I think Harris would have been a benefit just for everybody, even if I would have lost a little more money. Because if I keep doing what I'm doing, like I was talking to my investment banker, like it's 2026. By 2030, I'll be a multimillionaire, right? So I voted for Harris because I thought that Harris will be better for everybody. I know I'm gonna pay more in taxes. My business will get taxed more because we work to developmentally disabled. But the thing is, though,
eat your ass
but it's a cost. But the thing is, though, you ain't gotta worry about the war in Iran. You ain't gotta worry about all this other shit. But you'll have kind of a calm society. That's why. And Jeff, I know you still on the phone. That's why I was fucking with a Democrat, because I ain't gonna lie. I personally think that she is intellectually sound. I think that she wasn't going to get us in any wars. Even if my taxes would have been higher, bro. No, hold on. Let me finish. Even if my taxes would have been higher, it's worth it on a wide scale, because like my employees, like when I hire people, I don't even know if I should say this, but I'm going to. The new minimum wage presented by the Democrat Party in regard to Congress is $25 an hour. That's going to put so many people out of business, right? It's not going to put me out of business, but so many other people going to get put out of business.
Well, it's going to make your hamburger at McDonald's cost $18.
Shit, damn.
That's and Jeff, you just hold on. And I'm gonna shut up in like 30 seconds. You illuminated my point. Yeah, that's the point. People gonna be making a money, but the thing is, though, the average person has to get something. We can't say fuck them and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, because the average person is making, what is it, Kev? Like the average black man makes $42,000 a year. The average white man makes about
not in the city of Milwaukee. The median income for the average black family
about what, 34
is $29,500.
And that's my point. So this is what I be saying,
60,
y'all.
Compared to 60 for the average white family.
And this is my thing. Everybody don't interrupt me right now. This is kind of my point. And I literally go through my whole life trying to hire people, give them the highest wage, and do these different things, because I'm like, dude, the minimum wage is horrible. So I'm not a Democrat, but the $25 an hour, considering living expenses going up, that's not a bad idea. Am I wrong? I just want to make sure I'm not wrong.
Well,
so
I want to go to the chat room because people, Ruben, give me a call right now, because he said,
Ruben should call in, bro.
It shouldn't be busy. I don't know why it would be busy. Earl Henny said, "Con man, Donald Trump." Dion said he just said his father was on disability. Tell him to thank the Republicans. Thank the Democrats.
Democrats.
Sharita Shaw said Harris wasn't shit.
Oh, here we go.
She
Oh,
said,
shut up.
she said cooking greens in the bathtub is not a black woman
And
thing.
that's a
She
social
was-
media fucking thing where
I
they
know.
trying to
with y'all, man.
manipulate
She
you.
wasn't.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
She wasn't cooking them in the bathtub. She was washing them in the bathtub. Okay.
Thank you, Kev.
Kerry Walker said, bottom line is it's not just about being lazy or begging. It's about everyone on the level being able to sustain life. The
Dude.
rich in America are greedy. And she said that the minimum wage, I guess where she is almost $18. Well, it's not in Wisconsin. It's still $7.25, I believe. And you know, people can go back and forth about privilege every day, but the bottom line is, unless you're on the bottom, you don't really understand what it's like. And so it's easy to criticize. Now, are there some people who enjoy the status of being able to not work and not even worry about working and depend on some sort of entitlements? There are, and so, you know,
For
it is
sure.
what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
That doesn't mean you're going to take any of these programs away and make it so that it's not available to people who really need it. And if you got billions of dollars per bomb that you drop in Iran, why are you worried about somebody getting a couple $100 in food stamps? Why are you worried about that shit? When you
Kev,
got billions,
don't start that conversation, Kev. Don't do it.
you have billions of dollars to blow in other places.
Kev,
So
don't do
worried
it.
about some poor person getting over a little bit. Like we're worried about them being able to drink soda or eat junk food. And then you
They
go
throw
overseas,
food away at McDonald's.
then you go overseas and you got missiles that cost $200 million. Right?
Ukraine,
Like, so yeah.
Israel.
And then you go blow these places up and then go back and rebuild them. And the money that these people spend on the soda and the junk food gets taxed and goes to pay for the missiles that you drop in. So it's just a backwards kind of thing. Ruben, I don't one thing I do not do is block people.
Yeah,
You don't
call
gotta
in.
worry about that. Nobody is blocked. I don't know why it's coming up busy. Let me see.
Yeah, if you got a lot of people
Yeah,
calling in.
that right there, what you said was a key thing to me.
I only got 3 people
we
on this
gave,
line.
what did we give Argentina? Didn't we give Argentina a bunch of money
Yeah.
as well?
Don't ask me for what. I don't know.
We gave Argentina a bunch of money. I think we gave Israel about $300 billion, and then they turned around and said it wasn't enough. So I'm just like, when is enough with these people?
Oh, well, it's our fault for going over there fucking with them anyways. We should leave them alone.
Ian, are you there?
Yeah.
You know what I did?
What?
I'm all ready for it. You probably chuckle at this, but I made up a shit ton of tire dressing, a shit ton of black gold and new car, and I have a booth on Martin Luther King Drive for Juneteenth Day.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
I am not lying. I'm 100%.
I know you ain't, Jeff. I know you're not lying, but my point is, let's talk after the show tomorrow because I'm sipping a little bit. Yeah, let's talk business tomorrow because I think, as far as Tucson is, as far as the open market, we'll talk about that later, bro. If you send me some product, I think we could do very good as far as monthly. Not being funny, yes. We with Jeff, we could do good. But we'll talk later. I'm sorry.
Earl said street fixed and the police officer when I call from Texas because I don't want to eat jail food. Earl, I'm confused on your statement. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a caller on the line. Is this Ruben?
Oh yeah, for sure. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Ruben, but you got a lot going on in the background. I can't hardly hear you.
Oh yeah, I had to walk out the room and walk into my man cave. My bad. My wife and that TV. Hey, but yeah, I I just I don't know, man. With these I guess I'll just respect every man and his desire to be and do what he want to do and follow who he want to follow, because that's just what it's really all about. I don't care how well you prosper off of it, you still following somebody, and it ain't always good. The Republican Party, in my opinion, they're worse than the Democrats. They really are. It's just a worthless piece of trap, in my opinion, that claims to serve a God that they have never known and never will accept the truth of the matter when it comes to Christ. They don't care about anything or anybody. It's about their money. And I've never seen a hearse with a U-Haul behind it. You can amass everything you want. It'll never go with you. You can leave it to your children. They're going to mess it up. Bible's going to be fulfilled. But more power too, bro. You get your money, do what you do, because I chase that bag too. I understand this, but for me, it's not, getting the money. When I get it, what I do with it, and how I want to make life better for other people. That's what I'm all about. I'm not bragging about it. It's just a daily thing since I moved out here, and since I've been away from Milwaukee. And secondly, the family want to talk to you, but she's listening right now. She's watching the show. And they don't want to compromise the investigation into her son's death. But at some point, I'm hoping that you guys could talk and she can come in and tell her story. I don't see anything that you can compromise in this situation. The more people that you know, and I know you're listening to this, the more people that knows about it, the more the word gets out, and people, and people want to know. They're not just being nosy about it, but there's things in this case that everybody needs to know in the city of Milwaukee, because it goes back to leadership. Where there's no leadership, the people pass off.
Hold on 1 second, Ruben. Jeff was asking, was he muted?
No, he's not muted. I'm listening at Ruben right now. Nobody's muted.
Okay, no. He just sent me a message.
No, I don't mute anybody. I just asked that when somebody else is talking, we respect.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Ruben.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, once again, no disrespect. What you do is, what you do is what you do, Jeff. That's your life. I don't care about that. I don't care about politics. But I want to get back to this case and just say to the mother right now, Mr. Kiki, my condolences to you, and I'm going to put it out here just so that people know. You have to be careful who you associate yourself with in the city these days, and I think we all know this. For a man to lose his life because he disagrees with a situation, to lose his life like that, and to lose your life by the hands of your friends, that's traumatizing, and that's wrong.
So we
want to keep that family up in prayer, bro. Everybody keep her in prayer.
Hold on, Ruben. To keep people informed, you are responding to earlier in the show when I stated that there been a murder. And because normally Ruben is at the forefront of assisting families with advocacy and when they lose someone. So you're speaking to a murder that just occurred in the city.
I'm speaking to a murder. Yeah, it occurred not just recent. Yeah, recently, really, just a few days ago. Yeah, that there. The one that you're talking about the 64-year-old. I'm really in the dark on that. I'm not really following him. But that just seems suspicious to me. I haven't had any conversation about it, but that's just kind of weird that a 64-year-old man would walk up to you and ask you, "Are you cutting today?" And you turn and whatever you do, and he shoots you in the head and walks away. That just sounds to me, it's premeditated, of course. He don't look crazy to me, but then again, we don't know the full report. We have to wait for that to come out before we could even start to judge it, because maybe he will come up with I was crazy at the minute. I was on dope. I was going out of my mind. But, it's just something that could happen in this case. But me, I think it was calculated, well planned. They knew exactly what they was going to do, and they knew who was going to do it. That's just life. That's just how it is.
I was just trying to keep people, because this conversation has been about politics, so I wanted people to know where you were coming from. That's why I provided that explanation.
Oh yeah. Politics is a part of our problem anyway, right? And I'm not gonna stay on here, but politics is a part of our problem. Everybody chasing after somebody. Look at our mayor. That's a pitiful shame. Look at everything out there right now. Look at the state of the city. Look at all the bodies dropping in the street. What they're saying about it, nothing.
Are you guys all in Milwaukee?
For the most part, there are some people who are in Arizona on the line. For the most part, this is a Milwaukee platform.
All over.
Okay, cool.
Let me go to the next person in my chat room, which is my life. Oh, Big
Yeah,
Mike Kimmett.
go talk to them. I don't want to keep you up, man, but thank you anyway for the opportunity. And Jeff, you got a pass tonight. I'm being real nice to you, man. And then, bro, I got yeah, you should appreciate it, man.
He should call on Monday, Messy Monday.
Good evening, though. But you, Jeff, keep doing what you're doing. I hope that you spread love through what you do. I hope that people are benefited. They can start putting away for their families. You know what I mean?
I'll be right back.
Wake up tomorrow, give away $15,000, and you wake up tomorrow, give away $15,000, and then hit me up on Facebook.
Oh, I'm gonna give it away to some women. Don't get me wrong. I'll give it away to some women.
You're gonna give it away to some women? That sounds like the real slave shit. You know, back in the day, where they, just wanted the black women or women that you're giving it to. I don't know. You're a trick. But anyway, thanks for sharing that part of your life. That was interesting.
Sound like you have a good night now.
Kevin, I appreciate you, man. You take care. I don't want to entertain this clown. Have a good night.
It's all good, man. Peace out, Ruben. Big Mike Kimmett, man.
What does that mean? He wanted to yell at me?
He gave you what he wanted to give you. I want to go on to Big Mike Kimmett. Big Mike Kimmett, he said, what do you consider rich financially? Shout out to Mike, man. We got to chop it up, Mike. Kerry Walker Jones said, just like he needed his father for a roof over his head, some people don't have parents for that. Socialized programs do the same thing for those people. And Ace Cooley, and I'm just reading the chat room, y'all. Ace Cooley says, hold on. I hate this thing is very finicky tonight. I don't know why it's behaving this way. It's not letting me scroll so I can make sure everybody's comment is read. People get mad. Ace said he just got kicked out. I don't know. Sometimes if enough people get in the conference call, it drops somebody, Ace, so it's not me. Earl Henning said, and Donald Trump got his cut off that money. I don't know what he's talking about. He get a cut off everything for killing someone. And this is also Big Mike. He said, I read that already. Sharita Shaw says, initiation is a motherfucker. Who the hell is okay with they people setting up a booth on Juneteenth? With these people white people setting up a booth at Juneteenth. Kerry said we get a lot of smokers online. We got a lot of smokers online tonight, hearing and realizing, and reading marijuana thoughts all over this podcast. Okay, if they're smoking, I don't know. Mike Kimmett said million. This is Kerry saying millions. She considers millions to make you rich. And Mike says, so millionaires in your eyes are greedy. Okay. And then Kerry Walker Jones says, get this last comment. And then Jeff, I want you to be able to talk. She said, my life, Kimmett. That's what I said. Jeff, go ahead on what you want to add.
Oh, I was just wondering why that guy wanted to shred me. I'm happy he didn't, but I mean no harm to nobody. You guys still there?
No, we're here.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me. I had to step away from a minute. My
fault. I was confused a little bit because I kind of jumped back in.
Right. Well, Kamar, he dipped out. Kamar's not really into politics, so I guess he figured he didn't want it. I guess. I don't know.
Jeff said he's trying to call back in.
This is My Mike said, sounds like you're making generations. Sharita said, you don't be reading the comments right, Kevin Barnes. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Hey, I read what's on the screen. I don't know.
I actually think, Kevin, you read the comments actually accurately. You actually kind of read what's on the screen, so I don't know.
It's all good. It's all good. I don't, it doesn't bother me. We got
Guys,
Jeff back. Jeff, I don't think he was threatening you. I think what he was saying is that
no, he wasn't threatening me. But what does he mean by I don't want to entertain this clown? But how am I a clown?
Oh
Well,
shit! I
again,
went to the bathroom.
once again, I think that I think it comes down to this is the way people on different sides of the
They hate
aisle,
Trump,
this is
bro.
how we speak
That's
to each
simple.
other. So he felt like some of the things you said weren't valid. So that's the way he stated it. But Ruben's a solid dude. I don't think he meant.
Oh, I got nothing bad to say about him at all. I just want to know why I'm a clown. I've worked very hard in my life.
Hold on. I want to interject real quick. Now, Kev, you know this, but I just want to add this so people can see. Jeff, this is how motherfuckers feel about motherfuckers that support the guy you love. And you love him because of the money aspect. But first, everything else,
I would love Peter Pan if he gave me the tax break.
I know you would, and that's kind of my point. So you got to kind of get to the point where you be like, yeah, I'm doing well.
I'm not, by no means am I getting no damn Trump tattoo or nothing like that. I don't care about him.
I know you're not, because Jeff, I know how smart you are. Of course you're not. But this is why motherfuckers kind of be at Trump.
Hold on. Ruben's actually in the chat room, so let me read his comment.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I don't have to.
He should call back in.
He says, I never said you meant harm. Something else moved me. He said, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
I just don't entertain Republicans. Maybe it had to do with the programs.
Yeah, because I love Jeff. I don't agree with him.
Well, we know you do, but you ain't the one who had to disagree with him.
Yeah, I don't agree with him politically. I don't like that shit, bro. I hate that shit.
He says Al Sharpton get his cut. Roland Martin gets his cut. Cory Booker is AIPAC. He said Angela Rye is all AIPAC as well. The whole Congressional Black Caucus are all AIPAC whores. He said, I'm sick of foreigners coming in here and posing as allies when they are enemies.
It is what it is.
Okay, did I read that right? Wow, because Sharita said I don't read the comments right. Let me see. I got some other people in the chat room. This thing is popping. Taylor Ty says, I finally found the Facebook page. Taylor, welcome to the show. Sharita Shaw says, sounded like a straight Karen. Carrie Walker my life, Kemet, it's an overall generalization at this time because I don't have names and case points. I do, however, understand that there's a comfort level that people want, but everything falls on the necks and backs of people who don't have and are the necessary support to those with money. So they're having their own discussion. Now, I do got another call on the line. Yeah. Caller, what's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, listen, this Rube again. I just wanted to just clarify something, man. I'm not saying that he's out to harm anybody. I'm not saying that I heard him say that. I'm not here to harm anybody. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is I'm looking at the programs that have been cut. I'm looking at all these things that are happening. I'm looking at black males who have been basically killed in Republican areas. You know what I'm saying? Left in the house. Yeah. Bodies decomposing. You guys are never saying anything about that. So that's what I'm against. I'm not against you as a man. I've never met you. Nor do I desire to meet you. It's just I don't deal with Republicans and I really don't deal with Democrats. I talk to them, but in my opinion, I follow the Lord, and I ain't got time to be following no man or hearing you because I'm looking at the state of our communities. I'm looking at the families and what they're going through. And you ain't talking about that. You're talking about how you built your house from the ground and teaching some of these people, you want these families how to build theirs from the ground. I don't want to hear about how your success came about unless that success is flowing into the community, helping other people to become successful or even more successful as yourself. So Republicans are like that, so don't think I'm here to just get all on your case. I just don't respect the title or what you stand for as a person, to follow someone who would create all this chaos in the world, who would just unstabilize this world, to follow him and still believe even as if you guys have already seen evidence. This man is fucking kids. And y'all,
well, I'm not in love with that man by any means. I mean,
well, you went to party, so one thing about bitterness is its blindness. Bitterness has not the capacity to distinguish one from all. When one person of a group fucks up everything, bitterness accuses the whole group. So, when you say that you're a Republican or whatever, conservative, for me, I'm a man of God. I'm going to do what's right. Y'all don't do what's right. They don't do what's right. So you should not align yourself with anybody who's not doing right, especially when it comes to God's children. So you can keep that conversation. Good luck in your life and good luck in
That's some deep shit.
I don't want you to
That's deep.
For the lesser of two evils, in my mind, that's what I do.
Okay. Well, I don't vote at all, so you can keep that one there too. Because once again, I'm not a part of that. But anyway, Jeff, it's a pleasure to listen to you, man.
Too,
I'm gone. I don't want to be disrespectful. Don't think you hurt. But we as Black people, we got some questions and we got opinions, and we're gonna speak our voices when it's time. I appreciate you guys standing with you up there. You know what I'm saying? But then once again, bro, I hear what you're saying, but what you're saying ain't flowing. Ain't flowing with what we dealing with. You ain't got to hold that man, boss. Forget that dude. He know what he's doing. Have a good night, man. Love y'all.
You too.
All right. So once again, this is the climate of America right now. This is where we are in terms of being able, and this kind of is a perfect illustration of the divisiveness that Trump has brought to the country. Like people are taking sides right now, and it's an intellectual civil war. You have people who are against other people, and at the end of the day, we're all people, right? And especially when it comes to race relations in this country, but it's bigger than just race now. It's about classism. And so you got a lot of people right now who want to advocate for people who are less fortunate, but you have people who are not less fortunate who want to advocate for people who are not less fortunate. So they want to say, well, hold on, for people who have money have rights too, right? That's what I say. You get to the point where it's either profit or party over people, or people over profit and party. And a lot of us on the end where the money is not flowing like a faucet tend to be people over party and profit. And so you're going to get people who are adamant about what they say. They're going to say, nah, man, I'm not trying to hear that shit. Like, this is how we talk to each other nowadays. That's what's tricky about having any kind of platform that gets socioeconomical like this. Now, if I just sat on here all night and talked about sports and rappers and movies and shit like that, we probably would get along for the most part, right? But when I start to inject social commentary and talking about the reality of society right now, if you are a citizen in America and you're trying to raise a family or you're trying to achieve some kind of financial status, people are going to chime in from different parts. And sometimes they ain't going to play nice. And so that's why you got to have thick skin, and that's why it's called Outlaw Radio, because it's not always about the most popular opinion, right? Like we don't normally talk about safe topics, and I don't try to stay safe. Like, so this is the place where people are going to say how they feel. I just ask that everybody just kind of hold their composure, respect everybody's ability to speak and represent, and we will go from there. One thing about Outlaw Radio is more often than not, by the end of the show, we have agreed to disagree about something.
Yes.
Happens. So,
Amen.
That's cool. And I don't, Ruben is normally such an even keel individual. He don't even normally express any kind of emotion towards anything.
Dog, I gotta give some love to Jeff because I didn't think he'd be on this long.
Ace says,
sure, I'll hang on all night, man. I'm not that way.
I didn't even know you were still on.
I like everybody, man. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, at the end of the day, I'll still buy you a beer, man. That's the way it is.
So Earl Henning, let me get my chat room. He said he don't care about him young girls. I think he's talking about Donald Trump. A lot of Trump.
Well, I don't want nobody fucking young girls. That's crazy. But
right. Well, a lot of people's problem with Trump is his.
Hold on, I'll be right back. But you support Trump though, so
you can bang young girls. They just better be 18.
Well, a lot of people's problem with him is his lack of a moral compass and his
Yeah, but
ability.
he's implemented in the Trump file as far
Hold
as
on,
in regard to
let him.
Epstein.
Hold on, Ian. Let's not talk over each other. And he's been able to get away with it. That's kind of the issue here. And where
how many politicians are like that?
Well,
it's
they
ridiculous.
all are. So, but the problem is, most Trump supporters, when people call out Trump, they won't even admit it. Now, you might be unique, because a lot of Trump supporters and Republicans won't even admit that this dude is a goofball, and that pisses people off because it's like,
he's a dirty man. There's no doubt about it. But you know, so many of them people. Look at that big Democrat running for governor in California. Look at what the shit that's coming out on him. And he was the one. That's what I have a problem with. He's the one saying, "Oh, Trump a pedophile," all this stuff about Trump, and he's way dirtier than Trump.
Well, we'll see. We'll see
how. That Swallow guy, that Eric Swallow, that dude is a swallow, man. He's a dirty man.
This is Sarita Shaw said, "Karens or Darrens always feel attacked when our people speak with some goddamn common sense." A said, "I'm pissed because they trying to erase our history and destiny swap us." Okay. This is Carrie Walker Jones. She said, "The lesser of two evils, Jeff, is not based on your pockets. It's based on morals and human decency. I get it, though. It's the eat or be eaten mentality." Okay. I read that correctly. I want to make sure. And Ruben said, "Powerful statement." She said, "Jeff, you're a good sport." This is Sharita Shaw saying you're a good sport. And
that's nice.
And then Ace is being funny. He said, "What you got on my 40, Jeff?" Which is kind of like a slang terminology on saying when you said you buy a person a beer.
Like a 40 ounce?
Yeah.
Whatever he wants. Old English. I don't know if that's still around or whatever. I'll get him any 40 he wants. I don't even know, man.
That was spoken.
I used to go out with some African-American dudes I worked with at the car wash, and they always got me fucked up on these 40 ounces of Old English. We sat on the porch on like 22nd and Capitol, and they would get me all hammered.
Wow. And you was on Capitol. You was in my neck, the neck of the woods where I grew up at. But yeah, you drink a 40.
I worked at Suburban Car Wash on Silver Spring in Appleton, and that was really my first interaction with African-American people. And I got along with them really good. And like, "Hey, man, come on out with us." And so I would go to parties with them and stuff like that. And sometimes these people wanted to beat me, but I had the guys with me, and they're like, no, he's cool, leave him alone. And I had a good time. I had a really good time. I try to get along with everybody, you know.
We are a compassionate people, and foundational Black Americans, how we identify, typically are going to be open to saying, "Hey, come hang out with us." And I think this is the issue that a lot of us have, is that we're so open to people and so social with people. We don't get that in return. Now, y'all give me a second because I want to bring Big Mike in before we get off here, because it is 10 o'clock, but he is on the line. Big Mike, what it do, big homie?
Hey, what's going on, my brother?
Man, I'm tight, man.
You know what's going on? Yeah, I'm a little interested. You know, it's kind of interesting. Even Ruben kind of got me a little bit. You know, I'm listening to people talk about money, right? Like the young lady I was talking to, in essence, saying that millionaires are greedy. That's ridiculous, man. There are people who worked hard. There are millionaires that came out of working environments with it, that worked for factories at their 401k. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Made them millionaires.
Yeah.
And so, and then I hear Ruben talking. I got to say, you know, listen to Ruben, and you know where I come from, Kev, so I can't be accused of any of that mess. You know what I mean? You know where I come from and what I do. It's kind of interesting to me that we associate millionaires with Republicans when the majority of lawmakers in Congress are millionaires in the House, and they're both Democratic. They're right neck and neck with each other.
Oh yeah.
You know, Kamala Harris is a millionaire. She's got millions, man.
Multi-millionaire.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
You know, John Kerry got absurd money. He's married to the Hines
They're all rich.
They're Democratic. There's plenty of Democrats who are millionaires. They average about the same. You know, in terms of being, and so what are we talking about? The problem is not a matter of greedy Republicans. It's greedy people in general. It's people who are greedy, because I'm going to tell you something, Kev. I've been in rooms. If I made everyone a millionaire tomorrow, they would be, if I could do it, right? I'm telling you that the majority of people would shit on people the same way that they do from a political standpoint. You know, people kill me when they don't have $1 million, but give it to them and let's see how they react. Okay. You know what I mean? It's easy. And I just think that some of that shit that I was hearing, like when the sister talking about millionaires are greedy, that's nonsense. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? Because people are greedy in general. You know, a person has, you know, to me, from a greed standpoint, and that's where the root of all evil is not money, it's greed. You know what I mean? Money. Yeah. I got to have all the women in the world. I got to have all the men in the world. I got to have everything. You can't have anything. I got to have more than you. I got to drive a BMW. You know what I mean? I don't want to see you with anything. You know, and that's the shit that kind of gets me, because I think our problem is not a matter of Republican or Democrat. Our problem is black folks, is that we need to build some shit. We need to focus on building and sharing. My thing with what Ruben was talking about was, you know, and he's right, correct. I mean, helping others, you know what I mean? It's want people, like I've oftentimes seen people who you get around millionaires and you just want the money from them, but you don't want to see how to earn money, man, how to make money. You'd rather ask me 1,000 times for money than to go out and say, hey, how can I get put on? How can we do this? You know, and some people don't want to, you know, take that route, you know, but the idea that we're just going to say, you know, everyone, you know, we do this millionaire game. I mean, I don't give a shit about what Jeff has. My thing is just what, you know, to me, like Ruben did say, like, what are you willing, you know, who have you helped? And it's not up to him to help everyone within the black community or something like that, man. That's our job to do what we have to do. You know, right. He may help those who are next relatives that's next to him, and that's admirable and that's fine. But the idea that, you know, you're required to, in order to be a good person, that you have to share the wealth, you know, I guess with black folk is kind of weird, because my thing is that a lot of black folks are just as culpable when it comes to that shit. You know, we're not sharing the wealth. Yeah, we're not sharing the wealth and not giving a damn about the next man. And they ain't even got to be millionaires. They can earn 100,000 and don't give a shit about what happens to us. You can't get them to get up off a penny.
Yeah,
you know, that's true. And so that's why I just think some of this shit. You know, I'm just saying, like, some of this shit is just a matter of just hating people with money to a degree, man. I just can't stand that shit. You know, house in the hills and house, because Kev, you know, like Jeff does his thing, but Kev, you know, I'm around dudes that have millions, man. You know, and that's a crock of bullshit, and they're willing to help out. You know, there's a lot of people that you know that if you get into their financial, man, that are well off. You know, G does a great job. I mean, G's Clipper, he earns a great amount of money, man. And he helps. I mean, but to say, you know, a blanket statement of everyone being greedy is kind of weird as shit, man. You know, I just don't get that shit. So I'm kind of lost on that end.
I think what it is, honestly, man, it's just a lack of opportunity, because I can't even say that the people on top are really the smartest people that are in America. It's just they had an opportunity to get somewhere that a lot of other people didn't. You get what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest with you. That's just capitalism. I hate it, but that's just what it is. You get what I'm saying? So it's you got to know somebody that knows somebody. So, I mean, for me, I look at all this shit, like, you know, even with the education portion, it's shit that we ain't never going to use in life. I'm going to be honest with you. You'll see somebody that became a millionaire and he don't even have he's a high school dropout. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Hold on.
So
Ace,
you know?
Ace, hold on. I got another
What's
caller.
wrong with that, though?
Ace, hold on. I got another caller.
Hello?
I didn't say
nothing was wrong with it.
Ace, hold on.
But I'm just saying that's just what it is.
I got another caller. Caller, you are live on Outlaw Radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Carrie Walker Jones.
Carrie Walker Jones. How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was fine until he just generalized my statement.
Okay.
What I mean when I
just statement.
No, you generalized
You
my
said
statement.
millionaires
What I
are
mean,
greedy. Go ahead.
look, can I talk or are you going to talk over me?
Go ahead, Carrie.
What I meant when I said that the rich are greedy, I meant that by saying this man just said he voted Republican down the line, basically because of his money. Okay? You can't spend a certain amount of money in a lifetime, but you're stepping on the necks and backs of people who work for you, people who work hard to help you make that money. Why keep doing that? Why not pay your weight? That's what I'm talking about.
So you run. Let's say you run 5 McDonald's, right? What's your weight? What's your weight? Everybody has to be a millionaire. So if you make
I'm damn sure gonna make sure my workers can pay their rent, can pay their flight, phone, gas, take trips, whatever they need to do in order for them to be secure and happy. I'm gonna make sure they do that and keep my business running. It's not gonna be all about how many cars I got. It's not going to be about how many hats I can buy. It's not going to be about how many designer clothes I can get. No, it's not going to be about that. And if one of my employees need me, I do it now. I pay rent. I pay light. I pay phone. I don't have that much money, but I pay it for them when they need me. I get them to work so they can make their money. This is what I'm saying when I say the rich are greedy, because you're stepping on the necks and the backs of the people that can help you make your millions. What sense do that make?
So let me respond.
It's just they're not allowing anybody a chance to get some of what they get. You see what I'm saying?
It's not even getting to that point. Some people are happy.
Wait, hold on, because
all of us are not going to be rich.
Mike wanted to respond. He wanted to.
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead, Mike.
So listen to me closely, right?
I'm listening.
When you're now the greed factor is. I'm going to give you this as a person. If you make millions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you employ 50, 60 people, right?
Right.
And you're paying them. And here's the thing about it. You know, we have to deal in reality, right? We're not talking about millionaires who are making 100, 200, 300 million. We're not talking about the Walmart family, are making billions. As a millionaire, if you're employing 50, 60 people and your payroll is $1 million, you know what I mean? And you're paying people. Let's say you get government, right? What if you're paying close to $1 million and you make a play at the end of the day? Because you do have to look at your books and say that you're paying for like locations. Let's say you're gonna have to pay. You got a car, you're in the car industry or whatever it is, right? So you don't get cars for free. You have to pay. There's inventory. There's all kind of hidden things there. So if I make $1 million but I'm paying $1 million, does that make me greedy? If my payroll is making $1 million, if I got
it
people
makes
making
you greedy.
$40,000,
no,
God no.
If you paying them,
if you paying $1 million,
right?
Thank you. If you're not making anything and you're paying your employees what you can,
your payroll is $100,000 a month.
I'm asking the brother was saying that. I was asking the brother. The brother said, if you're making $1 million, you're not. If you're making $1 million,
you're not making any money. It's certain millions that you cannot be overly generous because you will go broke. I understand this, but I'm saying in general, if you're making the kind of money that affords you an extravagant lifestyle, there's nothing wrong with living that. You worked hard to get that extravagant lifestyle. But I'm saying in general, in America, people do not, and they forget, just like Jeff with his 40 cars, okay? People forget about them people in the warehouses that's making your millions for you.
Let me interject.
That's what I'm trying to say. Go ahead, Jeff.
Here.
Go ahead.
I only have 4 employees. The newest one has been with me 4 years. He makes like 28 an hour. Then I got somebody that's been there 9 years, 17 years, and 23 years. Do you think they would all have stayed that long if I don't take very good care of them? I take very
I'm
good
sure
care
you
of
do.
them. I give them health insurance. They would leave if the grass was greener. They would leave. They don't want to leave.
Okay, I'm sure you do. But think about, Jeff, what you just said when you said I vote Republican because of the 20K thing you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Now think about how that 20K affects that $28 an hour that you're giving them.
No.
Okay.
That's true.
That's a healthy chunk of money.
I don't know about that.
Hold on, real quick. I just
Uh-huh.
want to time. Hold on.
Are you
Hold your thought.
not because this president, not with this president in office.
Can I ask you a question? You just said that you make sure people are taken care of. He just told you the wages he's paying, and you just said now you switched the whole dynamic. So you think paying somebody $28 an hour is not enough?
Hold on.
$90,000 a year. Wait a minute. Wait.
I want to chime in because I'm about to say something
a year.
on you.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I make $90,000 a year. I pay almost $3,000 for rent. That's not including the light bill, gas bill, sending my kids to school, doing whatever else, karate school, all that other stuff. Okay. I was living comfortably. Wait a minute. I was living comfortably a couple of months ago. Now I feel the strain. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm feeling the strain on the back of my neck, even at what I make. So $28 an hour? Yeah.
I don't think you're understanding. Like, I just want to chime in.
Because Jeff voted for this president because of 20K. Do I make sense? Do I make sense?
No. Wait a minute. Hold on. So here's the point. Jeff stated initially that the part of what he agreed with made sure that he was able to make a certain amount of money and it protected his income. That's what he said. That's what he said initially for the people who weren't listening. So what I want everybody to do is, if we stop yelling at each other and start talking to each other, I think it's easier for an understanding to be established. A lot of times people think the person who's the loudest is going to win the debate or the argument, right?
Yeah.
Let's not yell at each other. Let's converse like grown-ups and adults, and let's all make our points. Everybody has time. I'm not bound by any kind of sponsor.
And let's stop cutting each other off.
Time limit or any of that. Let's just all, and we don't all have to get, fire and brimstone. I just want everybody to respect each other. So Jeff did say he's voted blindly for the Republicans since 1987. He even by his own admission said, I just voted red to the point where I didn't even know some of the people who were on the ballot. Right. And so that made the conversation partisan. And it's when it started, and the people feel the way they feel, Jeff, because there are people who feel like Republicans have been abusing power and being negligent towards less fortunate people for years. By you saying I voted for them blindly means that you are complicit, that you are affiliated with this party blindly because you're worried about your profits. So this is what makes people feel a certain way, right? Like this is why people get passionate. I think
the Democrats just screw you over and lie to you. That's what I feel. They talk a good game, but they're full of shit.
Both sides lie, though, Jeff.
You know what? And I'm going to be honest with you. Black people mad at the Democrats, too. But see, here's the thing. We already know the Republicans is racist. Democrats, because they sit and gaslight the shit out of us for 60+ years, and they still ain't gave us nothing. So I get what you're talking about, but at the end of the day, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't believe party politics works. I don't believe party politics works.
Well, if I speak from a foundational Black perspective, we need our own political party for us. So, because
there you go, kid.
Our needs are never going to be addressed by this two-party system. So,
and I'm not trying to hold on. Listen, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, Big Mike.
Listen, my brother.
We got a Trump supporter that just texted me and said he's calling in. Just for the record.
Hold on one second.
I got it in. I got it.
All right.
Hold on one second. We sit up here talking about Republicans are racist. let me tell you something. Democrats are just as racist, and you know, Kev, I dealt with the Democratic Party. You got racists in all walks of life. Democrats, there are white Democrats that are racist as hell. What did they do to Lena Taylor? If they weren't racist, Lena Taylor would be mayor today of Milwaukee. They were racist. I watched the shit they did to her. That you had white Democrats. Do we need names? And they were. You think they don't accuse the Democratic Party of being racist?
Bro. Say the names. Please.
You know. So we get out here today. And what's the guy that ran? You had that ran for county exec, the white boy that ran for county exec. He ran against the last county exec before David Crawley, and so it's the other Chris. I forgot his last name.
You talking about old boy out of Madison?
Yeah, this is the boy that said my nappy-headed friend that told the sister that this is my nappy-headed friend, Chris Larson. Chris Larson is.
I just told Orlando to call in.
Okay, so here's the thing about it, brother. I need you to go look at your homework because it's not as if you have white Democrats lining up to take on black issues. It's not enough to talk this mess. When we talk reparations, you didn't see what white Democrat came to the table to absolutely give their vote for reparations and say it's a great idea. They always silent. Hold on, bro. They always silent. The idea that they're not a racist within the Democratic Party is a silly ass notion. A racist is a racist. I've never heard a person say, I'm a Democrat. I'm not a racist. I got you. I can show you because I begin to look up shit and you had racist Democrats all over the place. The shit that they do is that we play this game of party affiliation, but we have to get our own shit. Yeah. This is the problem that kills me, man. We sit up here and talk all this shit like Democrats are coming to save the day. The hell with that. What have we gotten from either party? What have we gotten?
That's where things get distorted at. That's where things get distorted at. Because people are not saying, oh, we don't want Trump in office because he's a racist. We don't care about that. We care about having somebody in office that's going to look out for our best interest so that we don't have to live like fools.
I care that
and that's what we care about, people who are going to be in office and look out for our best interest. Now, is a Democrat going to be for our total interest? No, because I was whining when they were in office too, because they want to give away my money too. They want to give everybody. So you vote for me, I give it to you. I'm going to give you this and I'm going to give you that. So everybody who didn't deserve it, to me, got my money. So yeah, I had a problem with that too. I have employees that will tell me I don't want to work too hard because I don't want to mess up my benefits. That's a problem to me. So yes, everybody has a problem.
Listen,
but I'm talking about, can I finish talking? I'm talking about putting a man in office that we know.
Hold on. I was going to say, I have people calling in asking me about Jeff's opinion.
We knew from Jump Street that this man was a bully. We knew from Jump Street that this man was power hungry. We knew what he was going to do before he got in office because he told us that. He told us from his own. Knew that this man was going to. I don't even know about the racist thing, but we knew that racism would be incited through this man and through his tactics. That's how he won his place, through racism. We knew that this man was a felon.
That's true.
Because of what he did. This man is a alleged rapist. We knew everything bad about this man, but it was still people willing to put him in office.
Carrie,
and that's my problem because
Carrie, give me a second because I have somebody else on the line and they haven't had a chance to even chime in yet.
It won't, which is
this should be
like
Chris.
Jeff said, the almighty dollar. The dollar. I'm talking. I was quiet while you were talking.
No, that wasn't me talking.
And when,
that's not me.
And when I said the millionaires, the rich are greedy, I'm not saying people aren't entitled to their riches. I don't care about that. I'm just saying stop stepping on the necks of the people who don't have to get what you do have.
Okay,
and if don't nobody understand
Carrie,
that, that's your problem.
Carrie, hold on.
I call Chris.
I hear you. You are welcome. You are welcome to chime in. But I got some other people who have joined on the line, and I want to make sure they get a chance to speak.
Yeah.
I think it was say Chris Lawrence. Are you on the line?
This is Chris. I am on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, give them context, Kev.
What's on your mind, Chris?
Well, how about this? Give me a little context. Ian asked me to join in, and I'm already hearing a few things I can respond to.
Hold on, Chris.
I want to make sure I address the concern.
Okay,
no, Chris.
Hold on, Ian. For sake of context, basically the conversation kind of slid into partisan politics, and it's also about profit. It's about, which party is most beneficial for people overall, not just about profit margins. And then there was also a point in the discussion where the discussion came up, where the part of the discussion that extended to people who make money, who have money, who are well-to-do, who employ people, being focused on making sure they are helping the people that work for them, that help them achieve their wealth. So it's a bunch of different points running together. Everybody's just kind of throwing in, and it's hard when you get a bunch of people.
I just want to chime in really quick.
It's hard to get people to just kind of be calm, so people get loud and start yelling at each other, and so that's the context of the situation.
And yes, and Kevin actually illuminated it perfectly. Chris, it's funny because like Jeff called in, and one of the reasons I wanted Jeff to call into the show is because, I mean, I'm not going to tell Jeff's net worth, but he is a multi-millionaire.
Nah.
Shut up, Jeff. Stop.
You do all right.
Whatever.
All right. I've been blessed.
Yeah, you've been blessed. All right, I'll shut up. We didn't think it. I know how much money you got, motherfucker, but I'm gonna shut up.
Ian, I want you to do me a favor. Don't invite nobody else. It's almost 10:30. So I want you to not.
Sir.
I'm enjoying the conversation. No, let me get
this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let me get this off. I'm
for David Clark in a heartbeat.
Oh, no.
But the reason.
See, there you go. You messing up right there.
Right, don't do it.
No, the reason I was bringing people in because like I love that because people have a different thought process, and I want everybody to kind of get on the same platform.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna never be able to get off the air if you keep inviting people.
Yeah, brother.
I'm not gonna invite any more people, sir.
Now,
we're having dialogue, man, and that's crazy. Go ahead.
All right. I'll dial in. So I've been on here before. I'm like, just for the record, I'm a conservative Republican. So and I'm a black conservative Republican. So
God bless you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So speaking of, so listen, here we are.
Within itself.
In America, if you want something, you have to provide value. That's what it is. This is how you make it in this country. No matter where you're from, black, white, wherever you're from, you have to provide value.
Orlando's calling me, guys.
Ian, come on, man. Let him talk, man. Go ahead. We're listening, Chris.
So, I said, to make it in this country, you have to provide value. Business owners provide value. They take the highest risk. They take care of the people by employing them for the most part. Yeah. Are there crappy ones out there? Yes, there are. And at the end of the day, if you're not providing value, generally over time, you go out of business or you lose people and competitors take over who provide more value to their people. The greatest value is the people you employ. If you're a good owner, you employ good people who provide value, everybody wins. And that's generally how it works. Now, as far as which party is better for, I guess, black voters, it's so very obvious that, the Democrats have a strong hold on black voters. It's clear. And no one can argue that. That's the numbers. But what has been the benefit from it? You look at if you take the top 10, top 20 of high black population cities where they have nothing but Democratic control, nothing but black representatives, and look at their rankings in education, economic outcomes, criminal outcomes. They're in the worst, most impoverished areas. They have the lowest social economic value. They have the worst education outcomes. Not a Republican in sight. So what have you gotten? This is bearable.
That is complete nonsense.
You have a total monopoly over black voters. And black representation, a total monopoly.
Can I make it short and sweet and just say this?
Go ahead, Mike.
Knock it off.
Go ahead, Mike.
Let me say this, man. Knock it off.
Orlando hung up on me, by the way.
At the end of the day, when you talk about the prison industrial complex, right? When you talk about how you literally had a judge, you had a judge that were sending youth to prison based on the fact that he was getting kickbacks from those who were building prisons. That is nonsense because it does involve both parties. And you do have a Republican reach. You do have a Democratic reach. It is about pure greed and unnecessary greed. And it's about being expendable. Black folk, if you take the city of Milwaukee, you cannot take Milwaukee without understanding that there are people who are put in places where they have money. And it's not a matter of Democratic money. It's a matter of Republican money, Democratic money. When you're building a prison pipeline and you're building that does affect the outcome because America has decided that black people are expendable from the time that we got here.
Correct. Okay. Well, here's the thing. You got it all wrong.
Stop.
I understand. I got your point. I think you made your point. I got it.
No, you don't. You're not going to tell me I made my point. We're going to do this, and I'm giving 10 more seconds. Give me 10 to 15 seconds.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay.
Every dynamic that in terms of picking a especially with black folks, you have people. Whether they're redlining, you can't forget history, man. You can't forget redlining. I wanted to buy a home in Mequon, right? That had 3 acres of land. The realtor showed up, and that's not typical.
You went over 10 seconds though, Ruben. You went over 10 seconds. Let me finish.
Let me just say this. Hey man, brother, quit doing this, and let's do this real quick here, man. At the end of the day, when I went in there, right?
Yeah.
3 acres of land. The guy wanted to know what I plan to do with the house and everything else. So I'm sitting there asking this guy, why are you present with my realtor? And in essence, he was talking about what the owner would like the property to be and who he liked to sell to. And that's cool, but it was nonsense. You didn't want to sell to me as a black man because I had the money and I was going higher. And he decided that it's not what the owner pretty much wants.
Yeah, it's purely illegal. You can't do that in real estate transactions. It's the law already.
He sat there. You can do that all day long. You can do that.
Well, I was going to say, you made your point or whatever. Chris, what is your retort? What is your retort?
You saying this didn't happen to me? You're saying that this is real?
No, it did. I'm sure it did.
If that happened to you, you have a legal case.
Man, fuck
you
that.
Have a legal case.
I got another property. I mean, my thing is that I'm not going to argue with someone and try to prove because he just didn't want.
That's the best way to punish someone in a free market. If you have a grievance, you take it to court and you win it there, and then that penalizes you from never doing it again.
Hold on. Here's what I'm going to say. Everybody hold their thought. Kevin, how much time do we have left?
Hold on. Let me reply to the crime stuff. You say crime is prosecuted on a local level. So if crime is prosecuted in Milwaukee, the Democrats have total monopoly over the DA's office. There's no Republican DAs in these big cities. None.
But that's true. No mayor. But what evidence do you have to support that the Democrats have
at a local level? What's that?
What evidence do you have to support that Democrats have complete influence on every level? I don't think you can say that. No, you can say in your opinion that you think that the Democrats have influence, and I agree with that, but you can't say that they have influence to convict people.
No. In Milwaukee, yes. Yes.
Jeff Wagner is
you got to provide examples, bro. And that's the shit we be talking about. You got to provide examples.
Man,
Orlando just called me right now. I told him to call in.
One that's a Republican.
More than one.
Hold on, I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm not gonna call nobody.
You're not going to win. It ain't even about that shit.
Yeah.
Listen, most of the time the black people have cases. We literally have cases. Matter of fact, they just talked about something on the news the other day about a black guy that shot a cop coming into his house. And I'm just using this for example. And the black guy spent 9 years in prison before he even went to court, right? And then he got sentenced. Now, there's a white guy in the same state, did the same shit, didn't do a day in jail. So the judicial system is fucked, man.
It's about who has more money. Yep, that's all. That's kind of.
We gotta clip this one up.
The Republicans are fucked up. What I was saying to my boys is like, listen, we already know who the Republicans are. We know how they feel. The problem I have is the gaslighting that the other side does when they feel the same way, because it comes down to monetary gain. And if you ain't got the monetary gain to protect yourself, this shit's not gonna work.
How about we judge it on outcomes? How about we judge things on outcomes, which what matters? Look at the outcomes in Milwaukee, and we can go to neighborhood communities like Brookville and look at the outcomes there. Where would you rather live and be? You know the answer. Republican government area.
I would personally wouldn't want to live in Brookfield. I want to live with my people. I'm not.
I hear you. I live in Milwaukee. I understand.
I don't want to go move to Brookfield so I can be harassed by police and harassed by neighbors just because the grass is cut in the neighborhood and send my kids to a school that's supposedly better because
that's exactly what's going to happen.
But then now my kids got to deal with this racism and
where would you rather park a Kia? How about this? Where would you rather park a Kia? In inner city Milwaukee?
That's irrelevant though. That's irrelevant though, Chris, because Kia kind of changed a lot of shit that they do.
I don't want to
if I could bust somebody's ass knowing I'm not going to get caught up as a statistic.
I get what you say.
The way they do that.
I get what he's saying too.
Hold on, Ace. I get what you're saying, Chris. I get what you're saying. But that's that white ice is colder dynamic that bothers me, because let's not act like white people don't commit crimes. Like that's like saying if I move in an area that's all white, there'll never be crime there. Like, and so that's fool's gold. That's fool's gold.
There's a lot of black people in Brookfield too. I'm just saying, I judge things based not on color. I judge things based on outcomes. If Amazon is a bigger company than say X company. Why? Because of certain outcomes. This is just the outcome. The outcome is you live a higher quality of life in Republican government areas. Is it perfect everywhere? No. But you get a higher quality of life.
Hold up. What evidence do you have to support that? That's not true, Chris. I'm going to call you out.
On the court.
It kind of depends on what you think quality of life is. I think equality equals quality of life.
Oh, my God. He didn't. Chris,
so
you did not just say
that.
That makes sense.
As far as quality of life in a neighborhood, you would say, hey, a place with readily available jobs, with economic growth, a place that's safe, a place with good schools, a place with good infrastructure.
Yeah, I called Orlando. Orlando called me back. So you guys still call me. No.
Well, I think so. But I think the point you're missing is, and especially when it comes to we talk about race and we talk about the city of Milwaukee. At one point in this country, which was the 1970s, black people had the highest standard of living in this country in the city of Milwaukee.
Yep.
Because jobs were plentiful. And so what happened is the jobs left. Okay. The industrial structure collapsed. They left. But if we look at where they went, you take the surrounding areas like a Brookfield, like a Glendale. These places were small, little greenhouse, maybe a train depot or something like that.
But why though?
These places were so small, they were not profitable suburbs and all that, but the jobs went to where they are. So that's why I say no party is good for us. The two-party system is not working for foundational black Americans.
Hold on.
What we got to do
no one should be relying on a party.
What we got to do is
relying on providing value to others.
We have to get off into the delineation movement.
But
we have to get off into self-identifying.
I agree.
We have to get off into self-identifying, which is foundational Black American, not African American.
Yes, but hold on.
I'm a Black American. So,
hold on, Chris.
So what I'm saying is we need to circle the wagons, self-identify, and create resources that empower us. The mistake that was made for the civil rights movement, and I'm going to be an armchair quarterback, is they were too concerned with inclusion and not concerned enough with empowerment. I said this once and I'll say it 100 times.
Come on now.
If you don't want me to come in your restaurant, I don't want to eat in your restaurant because you might spit in my food.
Yes.
So what I need to do
exactly.
is, if you're gonna have a restaurant that only whites can eat at, I just want the ability to make one that only blacks can eat at without the threat of it being burnt down, my customers being harassed, me paying incredible price gouging for my supplies and for my operating costs. I say this a lot of times, the forced integration, especially in a city like Milwaukee, it backfired because what did we get?
It didn't work. Yep.
We got white flight, and we got neighborhoods that was beautiful neighborhoods. And once we moved into them, the property value mysteriously dropped. And white people hit it and went to the suburbs. They moved to Glendale. They moved to Brookfield.
They moved out of Milwaukee.
And it wasn't shit.
Hold on. Can I chime in?
But now, what happens now is when it comes to the summertime, where's County Stadium at? Where's the lakefront at?
Exactly. And I was about to say that.
At? What they want to do is come down here, take advantage of these resources, get back on the highway, and on the way to the highway, they look and say, "Look at these savages! Look at
that's an anomaly, though. That's not totally true.
Hold on.
Let me finish. Milwaukee is not majority white. Milwaukee is a
majority white.
It's not.
The city of Milwaukee is majority white.
It is not. It's 44% black.
Yes, it is.
It's a majority minority city. You can look it up. You can Google it. You can Yahoo it. You can do it. You can.
You're incorrect.
It's a passenger pigeon.
No, he's not incorrect. That's exactly right. Google it right now. I know he's right.
Minority city. You are.
It is.
The point.
It is majority.
No, Wisconsin. No, hold on 1 second. Wisconsin.
It's not majority white.
It's just
Wisconsin is majority white, but not Milwaukee. He's right about that.
I'm saying it's more. It's
My point is. They run to these suburbs and pay their tax money out there, and they beautify these communities, and they police these communities, and their school systems work better than ours. Meanwhile, Milwaukee is the shoulders. We're the shoulders of this state. We generate the most tax revenue out of every place in this state, but we are the bottom bitch of the state. We get mistreated. Like Skippy Walker was raping Tom Barrett for even after the housing collapse. See, money that was allocated by the federal government, he was snatching it out of his hand, which is why we didn't like Norquist. I mean, I'm sorry, not Norquist, but Barrett, because he was passive. And right now we got a mayor that's in love with developers and in love with building up downtown because he said he wants to see 1 million people in Milwaukee. When he says 1 million people, he's not talking about us. He wants to secure downtown for this imaginary tourism revenue that people are going to come to a great place on a great lake.
I agree.
And leaving everybody in this community underserved. And there's nothing that works in our city. And he throws his hands up and says, I don't know. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And he is a Democrat. So until black people,
well, you've proven the problem is government.
The problem is that we don't have our own interest into the government, because what we need is black special interest groups, black lobbyists to go to Madison and stand on the necks of these people just like they do. That's how they get things done.
Hold on, Kevin. I gotta ask a question.
We complain about
one question. That's not the way to get. That's not the way to get.
No, Chris, you don't see what Kevin is saying.
Hold on, Ian. I'm a big boy. I can defend myself. I got it.
I know, but I'm just asking. I'm curious. It's odd.
He can see it. He don't have to see it. It is what it is. The reality is the reality. What I'm saying is we complain about the game. We need to play the game. We need to condition our own politicians instead of having these spot seat fillers that go down there. They'll promise you some shit during their campaign, but when they get downtown, they say, "You used to be my homie, now you act like you don't know me." We need to vet our own politicians, and we need to stop letting the white press and the white majority
but he keeps saying
who we should go with. We need our own voice. We need to self-identify. That's why the delineation movement is so important. That's why to understand whether or not you are a foundational Black American. I'm not an African American. I'm a foundational Black American. My forefathers and my ancestors built this country. We fought in every major war. We're the biggest cultural influence on anybody, and we spend the most money. We keep this economy afloat. Ask Target what happens when we get together and say we're not fucking with you no more. So we need to continue to self-identify and empower ourselves. And that includes telling politicians, I don't care, Republican or Democrat, if you can't check off these boxes on our list, we're not voting for you. And I know Dion gonna tell me, Kevin, we shouldn't use our vote as a bargaining chip, but we don't have no other chip to play. So I think it's important right now that we need to get together, whether it be Republican or Democrat. I don't care if you're a donkey or an elephant. I want to know what you got in your bag for my people. If there's nothing there, take your bag and keep it moving. I'm not voting for you. And I don't care if you Brookfield, Glendale, Whitefish Bay, or any of these other racist ass suburbs that surround
It's actually really
Detroit, Black
simple.
City.
And I actually don't understand it. So I want to actually, before I go into my diatribe, I want to hear what Chris has to say, because we're at 3 hours and 8 minutes. Chris, what do you have to say with what Kevin said? And now I kind of want to reply, because he's fucking right about everything he said. Like, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
He gets a lot of the basis and the facts right about like Milwaukee and politics and organizing. The problem is always the solution. It's government. We need to organize our own politicians and government. No, the way to make it in this country, if Black people want to make it in this country, you have to build something on your own without government. You have to provide value to others. That's the way to get to wealth. Jeff is on the phone.
The party you support is not on that shit, though, bro.
Every time we build something, we get sabotaged and destroyed.
That's exactly what Ace is saying. Exactly right.
Ain't no
all excuses.
Ain't no excuses.
Yeah, we are way over on time, bro.
That was an excuse.
Yeah, we over on time. What do you want to do?
Them motherfuckers, basically, they got 400 years of free labor, and they still benefiting off of it.
And that's kind of my point. Hold your thought. Hold your thought.
You can build stuff without people even knowing your race in this economy, in this world.
Kev, no, not Kev. Excuse me.
At a grocery store out in Buffalo 2 years ago, and people, you know what? They killed. I think they killed 50 people just to kill one. You know why he died? Because he made the very first hydrogen very first car that was able to run off hydrogen.
Yeah, that was water.
Somebody to kill him, man. Do we always getting sabotaged?
Hold on, Ace.
That's going to be the mindset you're going to have, and nothing. It's never going to work.
You don't want to know about
nothing's going to work.
Hold on. Ace, hold your thought, because I gotta ask Chris a question.
Hold on, Ian. Hold on. Everybody's talking over everybody.
I want to ask Chris a question.
I made my point.
I've been listening, man. Can I say something now? I've been listening like 15, 20 minutes, not saying anything.
Yeah. Let Ruben chime in.
Chris,
that's Mike. Go ahead, Big Mike.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
Chris, listen. Chris does have a point in regards to us building our own.
Yeah, you do.
Building something that's something that you can never be against. I'm totally with that. I think that now I would say to him, in regards to building, like not having government involved, that is nonsensical, because here's how I feel. You take too much of my tax money. For me, when you're taking tax money from us, you're taking, and we're being taxed. Don't think tax money involves just the rich paying taxes. You're taxing the shit out the poor also, too. And most people that are poor, when you look at Milwaukee and you compare that to Brookfield, you're talking about the working poor. Let's not act like Black folks don't work goddamn hard.
I don't. Listen, eliminate all taxes, all income taxes.
So I would
never be an income tax.
See, we're on the same page.
Let him finish. Let Mike finish.
And so let me say this though to you. I think that we have to be fair. You can't say, would you rather live in Brookfield? Because here's the thing. You got Brookfield right next to New Berlin, right?
Yeah.
So right next to New Berlin, same thing, same dynamic, pretty much, cool place to live. Well, my wife worked for the county at one point. I'm going to make this quick.
Okay.
Her and another young lady worked for the county, and my wife had academia up the ass. You're talking about master's degrees, right? So they're sitting there with master's degrees, and the guy that over them, that's running them, was a former truck driver whose cousin happened to be one of the top guys at the county and put him in place. This straight up goddamn 10th grade education ass human being is over my wife them and is making more money and this is the nonsense you're speaking, but he goes back to New Berlin and he says, what a life. I'm out here living like that. Bullshit. So what you have is, and don't tell me about Brookfield. Everyone out in Brookfield is not a genius.
I was just using it as an example just for like conservative governed areas. They are better governed.
Conservative governed areas. Listen, the conservative governed areas you're talking about are people that would drive their ass into Milwaukee and make $100K because they have privilege. You know what I mean? Because when you look across a table, like you can't go to Harley Davidson and tell me that no one else can do the work, you know, but we're going to hire a ton of white folks. This has something to do with systemic racism. I don't want to see you come through the door. So I'd rather you take your ass to Walmart, because it's not like you have a bunch of geniuses in some of these places. You have people who they do racial identity politics and say, I'd rather have you. I'd rather have you.
Hey, Mike.
And then you subjugate. Yeah.
And those people who are working those quote unquote good jobs at Harley and whatnot, they are the people who live in Brookfield and New Berlin.
Absolutely.
And so
Kev,
they're going to come to the city
Kev,
and work.
you know how I know, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Kev, you know how I know, because I fucking live in Brookfield.
Right, I know.
I fucking live here. And I fucking
been pulled over.
So do I my whole life.
And I've never been pulled over one time in Brookfield. Not once. You know why? And I think because they know me out in Brookfield, because, you know, I'm one of them fucked up ass, like she said, and you know, Kev, that's bullshit. You know, I make quite a bit of money. But Kev, you know, I spread the wealth and I deal with people, man. I'm always there. I went to Brookfield because of the fact that I didn't like the fucking goddamn COVID shit where they had us. I was living in Brown Deer, and I felt like I'm not going to live under, you know how I feel about that COVID shit. I was not with that shit. I ended up saying,
again,
like,
better governed areas.
Yes,
better decision makers.
That was a dynamic that had me when I went to Brookfield. The kids could go to school. They weren't online.
Yep.
Fuck that online shit. So
they're better
there's
governed.
things that I do admire, but there's also racism here.
Yeah, there will be racism.
And it's here, but I'm going to tell you something, man. Being real with you, as far as being pulled over and all that shit, I just don't have that kind of problem. But I do wish, like, some of my guys are going to be moving out here. And I did long for the fact that, you know, being with my people is something that I love to do. You know, I'd rather be around my people in general. You know what I mean, man? You know, but
I'm Wauwatosa adjacent. I'm Wauwatosa adjacent. I've been pulled over 3 or 4 times. One time turning into my own driveway. But here's the thing, though. If you pull me over, you just practicing, because I'm not a criminal. So I had nothing to hide. It wasn't no reason for me to clown or none of that shit. I don't panic when they get behind me because I'm not doing anything. The problem is, as a black man, that nothing could turn into something very quick if it's the right Gestapo cop.
Absolutely.
And so this is the issue that we have. And so, Mike, you could be that brother who is on the up and up, which I know you to be. And it only takes one flat top wearing cop who wants to be a MAGA professional to give you a problem,
but you know, Kev,
and pull you over.
You know, Kev, in my defense, though, I'll tell you this. I was introduced to the police department from Brookfield, like, right away, because they had the audacity to fuck with my son. You know what I mean? And so that introduced me to the whole entire Brookfield Police Department, because there was some shit that happened where an Indian student spit in my son's face, and my son beat the shit out of him. Right? And so with him, he beat the shit out of him, and they arrested my son and him. And, you know, I went down. You know, Kev, you know how I get down. My thing is that you're full of shit. He's not going to spit in my son's face. And so I had a whole meeting with the damn near all the Brookfield, you know, police department. They came out, and I told the guy that had my son, I was like, yo, don't put your hands. I was like, yo, don't disrespect my son. And you're going to take him out of cuffs and shit like that. We're not doing that game. And so my thing is that they kind of know me, like, how you doing, Mike? And so I guess it's kind of like, you know, when you see them, it's not a big police department. So, you know, they're going to see me and be like, hey, what's, you know, I pretty much see them. They know who I am. You know, I think I have the benefit of that.
They got your picture hanging on the wall.
They pretty much know who I am. And I think, Kev, that they know that I'm just not that Negro that you're going to do what you want to. You know, Kev, I'm not no little small guy. You know, I'm kind of like, you know, right in your face, football style. And I'm kind of like, so I think that I benefited from that. But my son, have they been pulled over? Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I say that to say this, man. And I wasn't trying to, you know, get to that point. But what I look at when I'm saying this, that's not because they're trying to protect the community. And I just said that because he was like, where would you rather live? You got to understand, when black men, even though we are in Milwaukee or you go to the surroundings, the most pulled over is the black man. The most ticketed is the black man. The most arrested is. We pay court fees, fines, and everything. They make their money off of us. So that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
And I think, Chris,
I mean, at the end of the day, otherwise, there's no violence out there. There's nothing going on out there. They're concentrating on parking tickets and shit. So they create the criminals.
So I think Chris was trying to make a point about Republican governed areas versus Democrat Republican areas. But I think the point that you miss is if you take Milwaukee, right, and you put the poorest of the poor all within a 2-mile radius of each other, and they all have to compete for the same crumbs, you're going to get desperation. And so and I can guarantee you, if you take all of the poorest white people, right, and you throw them within the same general area in Brookfield,
you're gonna get the same
crime rate is gonna go up. The how they're governed ain't gonna matter. It's about how you people being.
We actually got statistics. I mean, we got numbers on that. You can go to the. I mean, I travel around the state running campaigns. You know, you go to some rural poor areas, and you will not find them way poorer than Milwaukee. I mean, there's rural areas black people in Milwaukee have it much better than some of these rural whites. Much better by far. You go there, you just don't have the type of violent crime we have here. And they're poor, and they're stacked together.
Eating people. You're gonna find rape. You're gonna find.
I mean, come on, man.
Well, hold on, Chris.
You just don't find it.
Crystal meth is the white version of crack. Okay. And
you got a lot of drug use,
because I went to school in North Dakota, so I seen poor white people, right? And I seen poor white people acting just like the project people I had just left on the north side of Milwaukee. I seen the same robbery, I seen assault, I seen domestic violence, I seen drug abuse. I seen the same.
You're going to see that. You're going to see it.
Same kind of crime. Same kind of crime.
But you're going to see that, and they do have crime. They do have more crime in poor areas. Poor people generally commit more crime, but nowhere near the level of violent crime levels we have in Milwaukee.
I'll tell you, it wasn't nowhere near the amount of coverage. I tell you that much. It wasn't being reported.
Nowhere near the amount. Look at homicide rates in the poorest white areas. Nowhere near.
Let me draw back on that. You cannot make a fair comparison. That's like that per capita bullshit. You can't make a fair comparison of a town in Wisconsin that's 20,000, 50,000, 70,000 deep, or 60,000. When Milwaukee has you can't compare the two.
Okay, go to Green Bay. Go to Green Bay. How about this? Go to a big city like Green Bay.
I'm here. That's what that's all kind of that shit here. I'm seeing murders. I'm seeing the same shit.
Yeah. There's homicides, but nowhere near at the rate here. Nowhere near.
Well, what is the dynamic
600,000
of poverty
people
in Green Bay?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's apples and oranges. It ain't. Green Bay ain't dealing with
they take their violent criminals off the street.
Green Bay is not dealing with. They're not dealing with the generational poverty that Milwaukee is dealing with. You got to understand.
No, they're not.
Milwaukee is the last stop on the Great Migration. So from 1950 to 1959, 250,000 black people come to this city from the Jim Crow South. And a lot of them came from Southern situations where the previous 3-4 generations before them had been in deep, deep poverty. So you got right now in 2026, and as I worked for the Housing Authority in Hillside, and I dealt with families who had been there. My grandmother moved here 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Her great-great-grandchildren are still in Hillside. So we're talking about generational poverty. You don't have that in Green Bay. And it's something that affects the mental. It affects your cognitive output. So in this situation, we got schools that are not performing. The kids from those schools are then underserved. Underserved kids become underserved adults. Even with mental health here, we face cuts in mental health care here, where you got 1 million undiagnosed or untreated or diagnosed and untreated mentally ill people here just home in the city, just walking around, just out here, self-medicating, all kinds
who
of
let
stuff.
them out? Who let them out?
Well, the county did by cutting the budget.
All I have to say is we are about 35 minutes over.
All political.
So yeah.
They say they're mentally ill. You should be putting the mentally ill away.
Hey, Chris.
That's what
Chris.
How do you put them away when the president that you support actually cut the programs? That's actually my business.
Hold
we haven't put mentally ill people away, and I'm talking about the severe ones, the ones who are violent.
I can actually speak on it. All right, I was going to say I can actually speak on it.
I want to ask Kev.
Yes, sir.
What is the average income of black folk here in of black folk in Milwaukee?
$38,000 a year, bro.
No, the median income in Milwaukee for black people is $29,000 a year.
I'm saying far as men and women.
I said median.
Now,
median means the entire household. That's what it means.
Oh, okay. My fault.
So what is the median income of Green Bay? What is 66 to 67,000?
Yeah, you wasting your time.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it right in front of my face. The median income is 66 to 67,000.
No,
that's the median.
You fucking up. Hold on. Go ahead. I'm gonna explain to you why you're wrong.
Let me stop. And then the mean hourly wage across all occupations in the Green Bay area is roughly $28.90. This is the statistics and this is the data.
Why are you bringing that factual information?
You gotta let him finish. You gotta let him finish so he can tell you why.
Because you said Green Bay doesn't have the kind of crime. They don't even have the kind of goddamn income.
Bro, they don't even give a fuck about that.
Green Bay has high poverty. Just like they're a big city.
What are you
they're
talking about?
No,
they do. They got a shit ton of crime here.
But
I'm gonna shut it down.
What it is that you're taking people here that are earning goddamn near $14, $15 an hour, and you're taking them and comparing them to the average income is roughly $28.90. You know, that's a great ploy and a great trick, but you can't pull that shit on me because I know numbers and I research numbers all day long. See, it's like the whole crime thing. You remember, Kev, you had a guy on the show and I whooped his ass about the crime.
Which time?
The problem is,
Mike,
all you guys are doing is pointing out differences between white and black. What is the solution to solve crime in Milwaukee? You take the
no. You can't do that. Well, hold on.
Drop the crime rate dramatically.
Chris, the solution to solving crime in Milwaukee is confronting poverty head on.
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
You got all these people who have these great ideas about solving crime or solving the crime in Milwaukee, but nobody's saying, hey, why don't we give people an opportunity to make more money so that they can sustain their families? So
there
parents,
you go.
So
Kev,
parents,
there you go.
So
I agree with that, Kevin. I agree with that, but that's not the solution because poor people aren't committing crimes.
You can't say I agree with it, but that's not the solution.
Whoa. Let Kevin.
We have a thing here called the working poor. We have a thing here called the working poor.
Yeah,
which is people who work 2 jobs and still live below the poverty line. And so,
and they're not committing crimes, though.
And the
vast majority of poor people in Milwaukee are not committing crime.
If they have children, those children are underserved because mom and daddy is out the house, and they don't get a chance to. They don't get a chance to.
I agree.
They don't get a chance to take part in their child's education. Thank God. My wife and I were able to take part in our kids' education because we didn't have to work 2 jobs, so we were able to communicate with the school. We were able to know what the curriculum is. We were able to go and communicate what the needs of our child was. So our children weren't underserved. So if children are not underserved,
I agree.
It decreases the potential that they'll be part of a criminal endeavor.
Can I chime in?
When we start to give people the opportunity to raise their families, like my parents were from Jim Crow, Mississippi. They were former sharecroppers. My mother didn't graduate from high school, and my father did, but barely. But you know what? Because he had a good factory job in South Milwaukee at Bucyrus Erie, he had a sustainable job. So they were able to be parents. They didn't have to lock the door and be out of the house for 8 to 10 hours at a time. And me and my brother get to run wild in the community. My father was able to go to work. My mother was able to stay at home and be a nurturer. And our school, which was Phillips School, which was 2 blocks away from the house, if it was a problem, they can go right to the school and talk to our teachers because they didn't have to clock out of one job and clock into another job. My point is poverty and crime go together like
they go hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
They go
not really though. So they do to a degree, but not really.
So if you want to attack crime in Milwaukee, you got to attack the poverty in Milwaukee. You can't have a city.
I disagree.
That's 40. You can. That's fine. You can disagree all you want.
Okay,
but you can't have 44% of the city that's black and half those people live below the poverty line. You can't have that.
But I think you're overlooking the fact that a lot of poor people, most of the poor people in Milwaukee, are not committing violent crimes. They're not committing crimes at all. Crime is committed by a small subset of criminals.
That's inaccurate.
Like if you have a neighborhood of 20 households,
that's inaccurate. If you look at most of the people, hold on. I worked for a long time.
Crime?
Wait a minute. I worked for a long time with juvenile justice, and I can tell you unequivocally, a majority of the kids that came and got processed through the Vale Phillips Center detention and wrap around Milwaukee. I worked with adjudicated teens, and I was a special education teacher for Milwaukee Public Schools. The majority of the problem children that I dealt with were poor. The majority of them. So it's inaccurate for you to say the majority of poor people aren't committing crimes.
I don't disagree with that statistic. Yes, the majority of people who commit crimes, who are in juvenile delinquents, are poor. But I'm saying the vast majority of people in Milwaukee who are poor are just living their lives. They just go to work and they come home or they do stuff with their kids. They're not committing crimes. Crime is committed by a small subset of people in a neighborhood. If there's 20 homes, it's about two people, 2 homes in that community where some juvenile or somebody is committing most of the crime. Crime is easy to solve in Milwaukee. You can solve it I can solve it overnight if I was mayor. You just lock up the most violent criminals overnight. And you can do it. But they won't do it.
Lock it up and throw it away the key. Lock them up and throw away the key.
Take the most violent criminals, lock them up and throw away the keys.
That's not going to
give them no freedom with no respect.
Hold on. I was going to say, Jeff is actually still on the line. He keeps texting me. Jeff is still on the line. Yeah.
Give me.
Go ahead, Mike.
Give me a few seconds real quick here.
Go ahead, Mike.
Let me say this,
because I'm about to close it down. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, bro.
No, don't close it down, man. This is fun.
Hold on, Chris. Let me say this.
Yeah, they can go on for another 2 or 3 hours. I told you that's why I don't be calling the motherfuckers to come on the show.
Go ahead. Hold on. I can't talk when somebody else talking, man. Give me a second.
All right, sorry about that.
You, Chris.
Go ahead.
You got to knock it off with the Republican talking points, man. I mean, I don't like the Democrat talking points nor the Republican talking points. Lock them up and throw away the key. If that's the case, Malcolm X in your book, Malcolm X would have never been what he is. So Malcolm would have been locked up.
I'm talking about violent criminals.
No, beyond violent criminals.
We need to finish this on Monday.
Let me say this though, but let's stop talking about the poor. You got places where black folks are thriving at, and you can't say that economics is not tied. There's Prince George's County is where some of the wealthiest black folk live, right? And so in some of those areas, when we start talking about, you can't say that it's not tied to finances and money, because in Brookfield, you have black folk here, right, who are not committing crime, but it's tied to economics, right? Because where I sit, I have been blessed, and I've worked damn hard to get there, man. I made my money so my children don't have to commit crime.
Yes.
You understand? So don't say if I went into Milwaukee right now and adopted 10 children and brought them out of poverty, and they came into a household where I'm making $3 to $4 million a year. Do you understand me? Do you think that they're not going to be affected? It's going to be a much different life for them? You're lying to yourself.
I was going to say, can I chime in really quick?
Everything you said.
Hold on.
I make that kind of money.
Everybody, hold on.
I got a bunch of money. I got a shitload of money.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on. We're at 3 hours and 30. We're at 3 hours and 32 minutes. Monday, if we can hold on.
If you got to go to bed, you can tap out. I understand if you
No,
sleep.
I'm not going to, because I keep getting text messages.
Man, it's 2 hours earlier there, man.
Yeah, no. The reason I'm saying we can keep going, I actually would prefer to keep going. But my point is, I keep getting text messages. Go ahead. I just want to kind of chime in, because I keep getting text messages, and Jeff is on the line, Chris is on the line, and everyone else is on the line.
Okay.
No, I personally think this is a good conversation. I would like to kind of go on. With that said, though, I'm just kind of like,
we need to come up with, as far as some positive like results. Like, so I know you guys don't like what
matters
Chris and
is
Jeff are
results.
talking about.
All that matters is outcome. What is the outcome?
Exactly. But
I
Chris,
mean, like I said,
one of the reasons I was chiming in, because I respect everything you said, but specifically, everyone else has a fucking point. They're not wrong. Nobody is wrong in what they're saying. Jeff is not wrong in what he's saying far as his position. You're not wrong in what you're saying in regard to your position. And everyone else, they actually have really good points. So what do we do? Because the party, hold on. The party, Chris, right now that you supports collectively because of the leader, not saying you do, they support pedophilia. They support manipulation of the Constitution. Hold on. I'm going to let you talk. I've been listening for about 35 minutes. They support manipulation of the Constitution. And the evidence I have to support that is because Trump was saying, we don't like certain things, so we can change it. He also supports going to war with Iran when there was no reason to go into war with them. Prices are up. Everything is more expensive. Gas and everything is where it is. So what do you say in regard to that? Because, dude, we're kind of fucked in that regard. So I know you are a conservative. So chime in.
Yep. So as far as the Iran war, I mean, yeah, it sucks. We've been at war with them for 47 years. So people make it seem like Trump just went to a war. We've been at war with them for 47 years. Yeah,
Obama giving them a load of money didn't help nothing.
Yep. Obama gave them a ton of money. So, listen, we've been at war with them for 47 years. Trump is trying to solve a problem that no president has solved. And he gave them a chance to solve it by peace. They didn't want it. They wanted the hard Trump. They got the bully. And Trump is bullying them. Yes, we are paying more for gas prices. That sucks. It's the unfortunate result of what happens of 47 years mainly 40 years of weakness on the Iran issue and not solving this problem. Trump wants to solve it, so
I'll chime in when you're done. You're not right about that. I'll chime in when you're done. You're not right. No, absolutely not. And the reason you're not right, Chris, is because no other.
The Iraq war and the Afghanistan war. We keep getting pulled into their shit. We keep getting.
We've been at war with them for We've been at war with them for 47 years. So it's undeniable.
But you haven't been us. It ain't been because of America.
Yes, we've been at war with them for 47 years.
No, Chris has a point.
Could now reach London. It's only a matter of time before their ballistic missiles can reach the United States.
Hold on. Did you guys just hear what Jeff said?
But the people in charge.
Yes, the people in charge.
Now, how do you deal with people who believe some crack-ass shit that if you die for the cause, you get 50 virgins to bang for eternity? I mean, that's insanity.
Yeah, you guys really for free. What you talking about?
No.
Hold on. I gotta chime in. And this is what I'm saying in regard to people that support Trump at a high level. You're listening to it. I don't have to say anything. Like, I get shut down. Before anybody cuts me off, the businesses I support and the businesses I'm part of are worth millions of dollars per year. Jeff, who you're listening to right now, you just heard him talk about how virgins are a certain way, and the people that support this, he gets 50 virgins in heaven. Those are all, no disrespect, Jeff, but those are all right-wing talking points. So in addition to that, I have families.
That's the truth. I know people.
No, Jeff, you're not wrong.
I do know.
Hold on, Jeff, you're not wrong with what you see on social media, but I have families that are actually Muslim. They don't believe that shit.
I got so many Muslim people I deal with every day. Every day.
I know you do. I was actually at your warehouse where I actually saw a Muslim brother. I did.
What is different? There's different kinds of Muslims that
work shit like that. They got the same thing.
Hold on. Did y'all hear what Kevin just said? Listen to what Kevin just said. He literally just said my point. There are different types of Muslims. the ones that you're hearing right
yes,
now.
there are very much so.
But they don't eliminate all Muslims. That's the point.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said
He didn't say that.
Go ahead, Kevin, because this is gonna have to go on to Monday. This is gonna go on forever.
Let me do this. I want to thank everybody for coming on the show. I appreciate the passion.
No, don't nobody go nowhere.
Well, no, we're gonna have to go.
We got to. Y'all call in Monday because this is actually a good conversation.
Hold on. We're gonna have to go somewhere, right? Like they say, you ain't got to go home, but you're gonna have to get the hell out of here.
Kev, crazy.
Everybody stay on the phone. This is good.
Right. So,
we'll talk Monday. It's called Messy Monday, and y'all call in.
I want to shout out everybody who came on the show. All I ask is that you share the show and that you come back, because this conversation does not stop. Every Monday and Wednesday, we're going to talk, and it's a foundational Black American platform.
Thank you.
So, like I said in the beginning of the show, people ask me all the time.
Let's talk till Monday.
They say, let's talk
till Monday.
I want to say one thing when you're done, Karen.
And so when people ask me all the time, like, you have a podcast, what do you talk about? And I say black people shit. And they say, well, what is that? And so this is what I'm talking about. And so if you are interested in having a reasonable discourse about these issues without us all threatening to blow each other up and kill each other and cracker this and nigger that, if you are willing to engage in conversations as a gentleman and a scholar, then I ask that you.
I find it very interesting.
I ask that you tune in Monday, because we will be back Monday at 7:30 p.m. And I do my best to get everybody on, but I can't always. Some people may have called in tonight and be like, I ain't even get to say my shit.
Yes.
It's fine. So call in Monday or jump in the chat room. Either way it goes. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. I didn't even get to read all the comments in the chat room.
It went wild.
I appreciate the passion, because I think people need to be able to have platforms and safe spaces where they can say what they want to say without worrying about being canceled or worrying about fitting in or worrying about somebody beating their ass on the way out or waiting by the car.
Yes.
So this is why we have this platform. So I want to say, you're all welcome to come back Monday. Mike, we're going to chop it up because I'm going to hit your phone like we always do.
Yeah, call me, man. You know we do it. Yeah.
But there's also a very, very, very intelligent brother by the name.
Am I allowed to come back?
Everybody's
allowed. Oh, God, Jeff, shut up. Yes, you can come back.
Democrat, white, black, Indian, Puerto Rican, Mexican. As long as you respect the platform and you respect other people, you can come back. I don't have a problem.
Can I add one thing before you end, Kev?
Go ahead.
Yes. All right. We're going to continue this conversation on Monday. Jeff, I'll call you. I'll send you a link. Chris, I'll call you and send you a link. Hold on. Before you interrupt, this is what I was talking about. Like, I know where we are first and the things that we think. This is where other people think. So I ain't going to lie. I'm on both sides of the aisle. I see where things are. I'm more, obviously, because of where I am far as what I am. I'm FBA. I'm a Black American where I am. And I understand where we are. But the thing is, though, and the reason I brought you guys on here is so other people can see what y'all fucking think. So we can kind of start having conversations, because that's why Kevin started this platform. He didn't start this platform to get clicks. He didn't start this platform to get money. He literally started this platform to educate people.
Some money will be nice. So all y'all rich asses, hit that Cash App down there at the bottom.
Yes, and by the way, motherfuckers better hit his Cash App. Jeff, I know you
heard a lot of people talking about millions of dollars tonight owning companies.
No, yes.
It's a Cash App at the bottom.
Hold on, the Cash App is down there. Jeff, your fool ass better fucking hit that shit.
I got you.
Y'all can hit that Cash App.
I got you.
I'm gonna hit it too, but Jeff, your ass better hit that Cash App. Chris, you too. Hit the Cash App, and then Monday at 7:30.
Same budget as iHeartRadio, so we can really put this conversation where it should.
Yes.
But to
continue, Jeff, are you located in Milwaukee, man? Are you located in where?
I hate to tell you this. I've been in Brookfield my entire life.
And I'm in Brookfield.
That's why he couldn't relate to that shit.
For 6 years.
Well, welcome home.
I've been here 6 years.
Welcome
been
home.
in Milwaukee most of my life. Absolutely, it's okay. I just walked into the house the other day.
I'll say,
I love a new house the other day.
Yeah, this was a good show.
I don't know anything different than Brookfield.
Jeff wants to
I don't know
all
anything
night,
different.
Don't ask him a question because he want to stay on all night. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
say this
does.
though.
Jeff, we'll
I
talk
want to stay
Monday,
until
Jeff.
Monday.
Well, no, we ain't gonna do that. We'll come back Monday. We'll
No,
come
we'll
back
come
Monday.
back
Everybody
Monday.
grab an energy drink and let's go.
Right.
Everybody get an energy drink and let's go.
I think most of the time when it comes down to especially with this new media, everybody wants to be heard. So I'm happy that I could provide that platform. But I do want to leave y'all
I
by
enjoy
saying
talking
this.
with you guys. I enjoy listening too.
I do want to
it's
leave y'all
interesting.
with this thought, and this is from one of our young. Well, he's not young anymore, but he is definitely a gentleman and a scholar, and his name is Willie D. And he once said, "If your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution, you're probably a coon." And I definitely believe that. So I will see y'all Monday, man. Peace and love. Y'all have a safe weekend. Keep your head on the swivel, especially if you're in Brookfield. Watch out for them police.
Yeah,
All right, brother. I got you.
Good night,
right,
everybody. God bless, man. Great show.
Thanks, man. Great talking to everybody, man.
We love y'all, man. Good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.